Hello. Welcome to another episode of Copper Canyon Cigar Chat Live. I'm your host, Joe Pasquali. We're in the studio. It's going to be a fun night. Got a lot of stuff happening. We're going to be joined a little bit by John Simons of Warfighter Tobacco. I have my friend John Runge in studio with us right here. Hello, John.
Hello.
So we're here. We're going to be talking about cigars. We're talking about whiskey, upcoming events, a lot of different things. So join with us. It's going to be fun. Ask questions. We have some giveaways tonight. Some really fun things. So, and I looks like John is joining the channel right now. So we're going to bring in John Simons of Warfighter Tobacco Company. Really excited to have him on the channel. And let's pull John in if we can. There he is.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry, I ran into some technical difficulty. My mic wasn't connecting, and you guys couldn't hear me. So now they got it all figured out. We should be good to go.
You're good. We can hear you great. Thanks for joining us. Again, I'm Joe Pasquali of Copper Canyon. And then next to me is John Runge over here, who's been with a few episodes with us and is a good friend of mine, a vet as well. So I thought it'd be timely to have him on for the episode.
Yay.
So, I'll give you a second. John, really quick, with your company, Warfighter Tobacco, for those people, I know we have some people that are going to be watching tonight that are very familiar with your brand and some people not as familiar with your brand. So give us a quick backstory. How long have you guys been doing tobacco, cigars as a company? How long have you guys been doing it?
Yeah, so we started in 2016. So that makes this 10 years for us. Which, when we started, 10 years was a long time. And now I feel like I just blinked and now we're here, But yeah, we started out of a little small town called Bennett, Nebraska. We had a gun store at the time, and so cigars and guns go together pretty well. And we sold retail cigars, and it was kind of like, why aren't we doing that? We're already dealing with the ATF all the time and all the regulations and red tape and all that fun stuff. And come to find out, cigars are a little bit easier than guns on that aspect of it, but it's a lot harder than guns and a lot of other aspects of it. So it's pretty interesting, learning curve, especially over the past 10 years, going from, we knew absolutely nothing about the industry besides, on the retail side. And 10 years later, it's a way different wealth of knowledge now.
Sure.
Especially considering on the growing and manufacturing side, the sourcing, logistics, just everything, that goes into it. In the beginning, we didn't know what we didn't know.
No, 100%. And you probably look back and go, if we would have known all this stuff 10 years ago, how different things would be. And there's a lot of companies. I mean, I've been in this industry for 12, almost 13 years now. Yeah. And there's a lot of companies that don't make it 10 years.
It's, looking back at some of the decisions we made and like what the timing, like when we made them, we didn't know, you can't see the future, right? But we look back, in hindsight, and it's like, wow, if we didn't do that at that exact moment, we might not be here today, and it's like, it's more than just once that happened. Is a, series of decisions that were made over the years. And, looking back, and it's like, whew, like, thank God we wouldn't have survived if we didn't do that.
Yeah. That's cool. So really quick, I'll let John introduce himself because he's a good friend of mine. We'll talk about his military experience really briefly. And then I want to hear about your experience for the people out there as well. So again, this is my friend John Runge. Put it over to him.
Hey, I'm John Runge. I spent 22 years, 6 months, 11 days between the Marine Corps, Marine Reserve, Army, and Army National Guard. I'm retired. I've been retired for 20 years. I get paid to take naps and smoke cigars. Cheers.
I love
That's pretty good. And other John. So obviously you and the other guys that run the company, all veterans, so veteran owned and operated. Yeah. Tell me about your military experience and where you came from with that.
Yeah, so I joined in 2000. I got out in 2005. I happened to be in between stop losses, and I feel like it was a good time for me to transition into something else in life. Every day I kick myself in the ass because I could have been retired by now. but it probably wouldn't have made retirement. I either would have been injured to the point where I got medically retired, or I would no longer be here anymore. So hindsight, like, yeah, I wish I would have stayed in and done some really awesome, cool stuff. But in the same breath, it's like, maybe I wouldn't be able to enjoy life right now if I would have stayed in with how the op tempo was and the time frame that I was in. I was overseas for the initial invasion, 0304, and in Iraq. And it was, I got a lot of buddies that stayed in after that. Some retired, some medically retired, and it was just nonstop deployment after deployment after deployment for those boys. So very proud of everything that I got a chance to do while I was in the military. I was an Army guy stationed at Fort Campbell. I was in infantry. So we were, boots on the ground, kicking indoors, jumping out of planes, helicopters, all that kind of fun stuff. And best, worst job I ever had.
That's awesome. And I ran into a couple guys earlier that apparently watch you on the other podcast and have seen you before and said you had some pretty exciting things that you talk about. And even now you guys do a lot of fun stuff all the time.
We
heard about some maybe helicopter hunting or some shit that happens.
Mm-hmm. We over the years we made some friends with a lot of landowners down here in Texas, and some of these guys are very well, almost all of them are very pro-military, law enforcement. They try to support veterans, and in my very short amount of spare time, I like to do a lot of stuff with veteran charities. I've worked with a bunch of local ones here in Texas where we take guys out hunting and fishing. Right now, my main focus on the charity side of things is with an organization called Warfighter Scuba, and we take Purple Heart recipients and get them scuba certified. So we get them in the water. If they're amputees or wheelchair bound or something like that, the weightlessness being in water is amazing. But just being under pressure does so much good for the inside of the body and recovery and things like that. We've got a lot of burn victims and stuff that go through. That salt water is just awesome for how it makes their skin feel and everything. But yeah, we've done some helicopter hog hunts in the past, and they're just, it's phenomenal. It's so much fun. And we've done gator hunts. One of my favorites that we do is we call it a dog and knife hunt. And so we have a couple guys out here that have dogs so that we can hunt wild boar, pigs with those. They're amazing dog handlers. The dogs are phenomenal. And so we just got a group of 15, 20 vets, and we're, for lack of better explanation, we're running around in the woods stabbing pigs, and it's a time of your life. Like, if you haven't got a chance to do it, it's amazing.
No, and you guys are doing the God's work. I just watched a piece a few weeks ago. John Oliver actually did a really good piece about how the wild boar population in the United States is getting crazy, uncontrollably crazy, to the point where even if you keep hunting, if people start double hunting them, they're still going to overtake areas and suburban areas in the next 10 years.
Yep.
Where we need to kill more wild boars, a lot more wild boars. And they're a big problem because they don't just, they go into suburban areas and just destroy everything, and they destroy wildlife and nature, and they're making things extinct in certain areas. Wild boars are a huge problem.
Yep.
So yes, keep it up. We need to do more cigar gun events where we kill wild boars and do more
and eat them.
I'm behind that. I can get behind that. But yeah, I heard this stat, and I don't know how true it is or not, but I heard it from some guys down here in Texas, and they were saying that we have to eliminate 60% of the pig population just to maintain their numbers.
Yeah.
If we don't hit that, then they're growing faster than we can, manage them. And I mean, they do hundreds of billions of dollars a year in damage just to farmlands alone, let alone, any structural damage or habitats for any other wildlife, anything like that. And I'm not saying that they're very docile animals. You put them in the right spot in the right situation, they could be aggressive,
Yeah, there was, again, on that piece that John Oliver did, there was a video of some guy had this thing trapped, and that thing broke the cage and jumped 10 feet in the air and broke out of there. And it's you just gotta kill the damn things.
They're way smarter than we give them credit for.
Oh yeah. Anyway, back to cigars. So Warfighter, we just brought the brand in. We have them at Copper Canyon stores right now. They're also on the website. So you go to the website right now. We have boxes out there that you can purchase. We're gonna be doing a soft launch event at our St. Joe store on September 10th, where I'll be there showcasing the brand, have some giveaways and things like that. The company was gracious enough to send us some fun swag to give away for that night. So on the 10th, join me at the St. Joe store for like our soft launch, and then we'll be allocating to some of the more stores, like more stock. But right now, St. Joe and Jefferson have the 5 facings that we're showcasing on the table right here. So we brought in the Connecticut, the Maduro, the Corojo, the Sumatra, and the 5th edition. John and I here in the studio both lit up the 5th edition, the Shaggy Foot. What are you smoking, Mr. Simons?
I'm actually smoking one of our 762 Field Sumatras.
Okay.
I had a victory lined up, but it was laying on my desk before I left the shop, and I smoked it. It was my last cigar of the day at work, and then I got home and I was like, "Ah, shit! I was gonna smoke that tonight."
I was leaving one of my stores today on the way here and grabbed 2 of each for us. So I was like, well, we're gonna put both here. We have a 50. What was it? The Maduro. We had the 50 cal Maduro as a second cigar, and then we got the 5th edition, which is starting lovely. John's is burning perfect right now.
This is a really well constructed cigar.
They're so the gentleman who runs the factory in Nicaragua, where all of our cigars are made, his name is Gonzalo. Gonzalo, I think he's 73 years old. He's from Cuba. He used to work for the Cuban government doing cigars. He was on some of the blending teams for Cohiba. I mean, his entire life has just been tobacco. And so I asked him, and he'll give me a no bullshit answer. And I'm like, out of all the cigars you've ever made in your life, what's your favorite? And he holds up the Victory cigar. He goes, this one. And I was like, hell yeah.
I meant to ask, and we'll get to some questions from the audience out there as well. What factory do you guys use for your cigars down in Nicaragua?
We use Tabacalera Carreras, which is the Esteban Carreras factory.
Yeah, Esteban Carreras factory. Yeah, and this guy, Rungy just gave him the nod. Rungy loves some OG Esteban Carreras stuff out of there, like Mr. Brownstone, Cuba Cabra. Yeah, a bunch of those old ones. Yeah, we don't have representation for that brand up here in the Midwest anymore. We used to have some Esteban guys, and I haven't seen them up here in a minute, but they had some great blends out of that factory.
So I just spent a week with Craig, the owner of Esteban, up in Alaska.
Okay.
I don't even know what day it is anymore. Today's Wednesday. Okay, we got back this past Thursday, and that was one of the conversations that we were having, was trying to figure out, the gaps that he needs to fill for his sales guys. He when he's full staffed, he covers the entire United States. But I think he's short. I think he's down like 2 guys right now. It's kind of the what's the word I want to use for it? The unspoken nightmare about the cigar industry is sales reps and brokers, and trying to get your name out into shops and all that kind of stuff. It's tough. It's a grind.
It's tough. It's a hard call, and we feel it here. Traditionally, the Midwest is usually a lot of people's not last, but not highest priority when it comes to representation. You do have a lot of brokerage here in the Midwest. I mean, there's obviously states that nobody reps. It's usually all in house, like Wyoming and states like that. And California's getting to that point as well, where people just go, we're not even going to have a California rep. Just call us, because they're a nightmare to deal with. But the Midwest traditionally is either like a lot of brokerage, or people just go, hey, call us in house. We're not going to have a Midwest guy for those small to medium sized companies. Which is fine as long as you have somebody to call. And the same with companies like Esteban, and there's other companies that get to that point where I'm like, hey, I don't need a rep necessarily.
Yeah.
But an email every now and then, or a phone call or something like that, let us know you're still around is always good.
Exactly.
Which again, like we carry a lot of brands. We have 7 locations. I also don't want to hunt somebody down to carry their cigars. Like, if you don't want to reach out, then I'm like, that's okay. Yep. And again, with Warfighter, and again, I knew about you guys. I've met you guys at trade shows for years, and it was always that company that was like, hey, it's a really cool company, really good story. I just had so many customers over the last few months that was like, hey, I'm buying from these guys. I think they have a spot locally. We'd love to see them. And so a bunch of the people in the chat that are commenting are people, these guys pushing me. And so I was like, hey, we got to bring these guys in. We have a lot of local people that are really wanting to see the Warfighter stuff here in Fort Wayne.
And that's, and I appreciate it big time when the customers are the ones that are, asking for the cigar. I feel, at least in my opinion, I feel like when the customer is interested in it, it almost holds more weight than, if a rep or something comes in and was like, hey guys, you guys should try our cigars. But when you got a dozen customers that are like, hey, if you bring these in, we'll buy them. I feel like that just holds more weight with the shop owners and managers.
Oh, again, you ran a shop, it carries all the weight. Like a rep coming in, and I love all my reps, but they're doing their job. They want shelf space, they want their brand, they want well represented, they want their cigars out there. That's their job. Customers, they're the ones that are going to buy the cigars. So I'm like, yeah, if you're going to buy it, I'll bring it in all day, like 100%. Like, you guys are going to stand behind it, and then we're going to stand behind it. And we want to do it. We want to have a good representation, so we're not going to bring it in, put 2 boxes, and go, hey, here's this new brand, try it, yay. Like, we want to bring in facings and grow the facings and get you on the podcast and do our job too. I think that's our job as a tobacconist, is to also then train the new customers, train the staff, talk about the cigars, talk about the story. Otherwise, you can sometimes, but you can't just throw stuff on a shelf and go, it's going to do great.
Right. Like there's a lot of psychology that goes behind how a brand does if it gets brought into humidor based on the facings and presence and location, and all that plays a factor into it. And you can be off by a box or two, and all of a sudden this brand doesn't move, or you get that sweet spot, and then it's just like, oh shit, we just sold everything out in a week. Like, this is awesome. How do we do this? How do we do this with everything in here?
Right, exactly.
Yep.
And then, as you know, there's always those brands that you go, I thought that would do better. Oh, I thought that wouldn't do as good. That did good. And it surprises you all the time, where I'll look back and go, yeah, like in my career, I've had whiffs. There's been stuff where I'm like, I go to the trade show, I smoke some, I go, that's phenomenal. Branding's good, cigar is good, all that stuff. And then people don't care about it. And there's sometimes where you bring something in and it catches fire, and then people buy it, and you go, that really surprised me. That actually did way better than I thought it would have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we try to have more hits and misses. That's what I'm saying. Try to have more hits and misses. Which we're
looking at some of the comments
Kale,
that are coming up. There's one in here by Mike Trogdon, and it says, my unit replaced the 101st in Mosul, Iraq in 0304. I'm assuming, Mike, that you were stationed at Fort Lewis and you were in a striker brigade, because those are the guys that replaced us. I was on the east side of Mosul, up in a little compound. We had a 2-company compound in the middle of nowhere. So we had 200 guys that were essentially, we had a brick wall and a plywood roof, and that's what we called a base. And it was out by the old it's called the Al-Kindi complex, and it was a nuclear, biological, chemical research and manufacturing facility. The stuff they didn't have over there. We lived next to that for about 8 months. So the dudes that replaced us, they were out of Fort Lewis, and they had those huge striker vehicles. They had the RPG cages on them and everything. I'm like, hey guys, those aren't going to fit down the roads we're working in. Like, it's a big vehicle.
Actually, Mr. Trogdon there, Mike, is my brother-in-law. Married my sister.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, really, really good guy. Big cigar guy.
Was he stationed at Fort Lewis?
I'm not sure. He's probably gonna comment and tell us. No, I don't know a ton about his military history. But yeah, I'm sure he'll comment and let us know where he was at. Yeah, they live just east of Columbus, Ohio. They're actually coming in town this weekend. I'll see my sister and him this weekend. They're coming in. We're having a Fuente event on Saturday, so they're gonna come in and make a weekend of it in lovely Fort Wayne, Indiana, and have some cigars with me and hang out. So it'll be a fun weekend. We have a bunch of other comments out there. Kale, do you want to read any of them out?
Had Cameron Lee Cayley came on, said picked up 4 of the 5 that Copper just got in. Haven't smoked them yet, but looking forward to them. We have Eric Monrami says thank you for your service.
Appreciate that.
We also have. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
And Cameron Lee Cayley came on again and said, Joe knows I'm all about trying something new. Love smoking sticks I've never had before.
We're always trying to push, not always new cigars. Obviously, sometimes we're just growing brands that we already carry. Because as you know, the one thing that doesn't grow in your shop is your humidor, like the space in it. So,
yeah,
we're always either stuff's leaving or coming in, and trying to figure out the sweet spot. All of our humidors, all of our shops are different sizes. So just because stuff might fit at Jefferson doesn't mean it's going to fit at St. Joe or Lima or Auburn. Or we're always playing Jenga and moving things around and having fun with that, which is my daily battle.
Extremely valuable.
Oh, dude. It's shelf space and it's find the right spot. I actually gave a project to Rick, my dad, a couple weeks ago, because my dad, a retired engineer, has to stay busy. So, and he will do some woodworking stuff on the side. There's Rick. There's a photo of Rick. I said, Rick, we put cigars in trays sometimes to make space, space savers for a brand. And sometimes it could hurt the brand when you tray it, but you need to save space. Right. I said, Rick, you make me wooden trays and then laser the company's logo on the front of it and make a cool looking tray. So at least if somebody comes in and they see my father and it's in a tray, they see my father. And then we can start making custom trays for a lot of our shops. So it doesn't hurt the brand. Still, brand does okay, but I can save space where I can put, 6 boxes in a space that normally 3 would fit in some of my humidors. So that's Rick's current project right now, is making some trays for me.
But there's just something about reaching into the box.
I know. Trust me, I love keeping boxes as boxes, and that would be great in all the humidors. Yep. But you want to see new shit, and we want to bring in new shit. We want to have fun, and then sometimes the company sends you a box that's this fucking big, and the lid has to fit a certain way, and you don't want to break it, and you go, oh god damn it, like great, like Padron 60th they're in. Where the fuck am I gonna put those? Like it is what it is. So if I get an option for trays, I'll take it. And then also it keeps Rick busy. So it's perfect. Like Rick can build something and we can save space.
Rick's busy on the golf course.
He is golfing more. He is golfing.
I'll say this about this cigar. This is a wonderful cigar to pair. I think it really goes well with anything. Anything. I could see myself having a Cabernet or the Scotch or whatever. It really adapts well to what you're pairing.
I don't disagree. And I looked at the blend earlier, but John, you can remind us of it. The 5th edition, I think it's very medium body. Definitely, obviously, Nicaraguan. Got a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah,
but it's not obviously full. It's not mild. It's right in the middle. Tell us about the blend on this cigar.
So we used a Brazilian Montefina wrapper and Nicaragua binder filler. And that Montefina wrapper, I'm a huge fan of it. And so when we do those, like that's the 5th edition. And so essentially when we're prepping for a new edition, we buy as much of the, high quality Montefina wrapper leaf as we can. And that's just kind of what we make for that edition. And it just so happened when we were buying tobacco for the 5th edition, we couldn't get that much. And that's why we did a 350 box run. We have a couple bundles hanging around just in case, quality control. Like, at the end of the day, it's an organic product that humans made. So something can happen. And we stand behind all of our cigars as long as it's not, a personal thing. Like if you have a construction issue, a burn issue, something that goes, wrong with the cigar, we'll replace it 1 for 1, no questions. Like, hey, sorry it happened, man. Human element involved. You try this one's going to be better, if it's like, oh, I don't like how the cigar tastes. Well, not everybody's perfect.
Right. That's hard. And again, we replace with customers. If a guy comes in, hey, this cigar blew up on me, hey, this busted, this whatever. We do the same thing at our stores. I replace them.
Yep.
You're always going to have that guy that, this cigar didn't burn well, and you look and he smoked it almost down to the nub and then complains about it. And you got to make that call and go, look.
What happened in the first third? It burned on one side. Well, what'd you do? Well, I corrected it and it was fine after that. Oh.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of cigar 101 out there that there's not always the best cigar etiquette, and you try to train people and get people better at it, and you just have those guys. Everybody has that guy that comes in the shop and wants to complain about something. It is what it is. But the hard thing about retailing is that a guy might grab a cigar and throw it in his glove box for 2 weeks,
right?
And then light it up and come into you and go, that cigar was terrible. That thing smoked so bad. And you're like, well, it's January in the Midwest. And like, I don't know what you do with your cigars. Once you leave our shop, I have no idea how you store them, what you're doing with them. Yeah. If your dog chewed on it, like, I mean, I'm not in charge of you, but we try to take care of all of our customers. it's just one of those things in retail that you have to just nod and go, here's a free cigar. Here you go.
So your
You're such a
brother-in-law
pushover.
chimed in. Mike chimed in, and he was at Fort Lewis.
Okay.
It was 114 Cav. We're at the Big Pals. Okay, I know exactly where you guys were at. That's awesome. Yeah, and Telefar. We spent some time up at Telefar too. That's so cool. Yeah,
That's wild.
it's awesome to see somebody that, I mean, we're boots on the ground in the same place.
That's wild. So when we get you up to Fort Wayne, Indiana for an event in the near future, and we'll have Mike come on over and you guys can
Oh
hang
shit!
out.
If Mike's there, we're just gonna talk about Mosul and 0304 the whole time.
So where are you originally from? You said you ran a place in Nebraska. You guys are in Texas
Yeah.
now. Are you born and raised in Nebraska?
Nope. So I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. And,
Wow. Okay.
I know I'm all over the place. So I lived there until I was, I don't know, 15 or so. And then I take it back. Let me back up a little bit. I lived there until I was about 8, and then I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania. I was there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and then moved back to Massachusetts. I lived there until I was about 15, and then we moved to Rochester, Minnesota. And that's where I graduated high school. And then I was like, I need to get out of the state. And so I joined the Army, because, that's a great idea. And actually, no, I had full intentions and plans of joining the military when I did. It wasn't a spare the moment thing. And so I joined in 2000, shipped out. Basic training started August 15th, 2000. And so went through that, graduated, went through a whole slew of schools after that. And then I got sent up to Fort Campbell, probably, I don't know, August, September 2001, somewhere around there. And
September 2001. That was
actually, no, I take it back. It was
month.
July or August, because I remember I was on staff duty for 9/11. So I was doing CQ 24-hour shift, and my shift ended at 9 a.m. And so the first plane hit, everyone's talking about it. We don't have TVs, this is 2000. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. And then I remember go off base to go get some of my uniforms before I went to sleep for the day. And as I was trying to get back on base, the second plane hit, and like the base is locked down, chaos is happening, everything's going nuts, and nobody knows what's going on. We got machine guards, mounted machine guns guarding parking lots, and triple strand concertina wire around every building on base. And I'm like, you guys know we have a big, huge, the security fence around the base, and we have gate guards, and there's helicopters with guns that are flying. Like, why do I have to sit here and guard this parking lot? But okay, cool. I guess we're doing this. But it's just nobody knew what was going on at the time. It was crazy.
No, nobody did. And everybody everybody remembers where they're at on 9/11. It's one of those iconic moments where you remember exactly what was happening that day and what was going on. And I remember having a conversation with someone the other day about like kids, like younger kids these days, Gen Z, wherever they are, like they read about 9/11 like they would read about Nam or World War II or anything else. Like they don't know
Harbor,
about it
something.
or remember
Yep.
it. It's
Yeah,
wild. And a lot of guys I went to high school with, and one of them just passed away last week. A lot of my friends and a lot of my colleagues got into the military right around 2004, 2005, and did multiple tours and things like that because of 9/11. There was that big push then of people my age that then joined the military in 04, 05, 06. And Nate Carden, who's been on the channel before, who's our Perdomo rep, he had a bunch of tours over there and has a career. Now he works for Perdomo. Come full circle. So he's a military guy, and now he's in the industry. And we find a lot of that. There's a lot of military cigar guys out there. So talk about that, and John can chime on this as well. Were you a cigar guy before the military? Did the military get you into cigars?
The military encouraged me to do it more. But I was into cigars before I even joined. I wasn't smoking them daily. But on average, I probably have maybe a cigar a month, on the low end of it. And I just had some friends that had older brothers that were kind of into cigars. And so, go hang out, and they'd be like, oh, you want one? I'm like, yeah, sure. And smoke a cigar. And it was great. And, then I get in the military, and that kind of didn't really change it for me, but it was almost like a different reason on why I was smoking. And it was kind of like that decompression time. It's like, we're going to take this, we're going to sit here for whatever, 45 minutes, however long it takes to smoke this cigar. And the last thing we're going to do is talk about work, and so that was really nice. And then when we were overseas, it was even nicer because we sit down and have a cigar. And when you're overseas smoking a cigar, all you're doing is thinking about stuff back home. And now it's kind of funny because now I smoke a cigar and every once in a while I think about stuff overseas. I'm like, wait a minute.
And John in the studio, John, what about you? So like, again, were you a cigar guy before the military? A cigar app?
No, I picked it up. I picked it up midway.
Okay.
Marine Corps, I didn't smoke cigars. I think when I got into the Guard and spent time in the Guard is where I kind of picked that up.
Okay. And then tour wise, what was your travel? Because I know we've talked a little bit before, but like, what was you're doing? I know, so you did the Marine and everything else. Where were you at?
Lebanon in 1983.
Okay.
On station when they blew up our embassy. And then I got out in 1984, went in the reserves. I really wanted a job. I didn't have to sleep in the hole in the ground that I dug. So I got a nice job with a suit. and then got to missing it and went into the Guard in 1987 on a try one. And I tried another and I tried another. And then finally they said, hey, you got to sign a contract, and by that time I'd been in so long, it was like, fine, I might as well lock in the retirement. But then in 03, with the local unit here, we were activated to go overseas. We started in Kuwait, and then I think we crossed the border on like the third day of the ground war.
Nice.
And we were, it was Talil Air Base outside of Nasiriyah.
Yep.
Is where we spent the rest of our tour before we came home.
Okay.
We were in
And then I
Nasiriyah.
retired.
We were in Nasiriyah just probably a few, 3 to 5, maybe a week before you got up there. We were started off in Kuwait too. We were at Camp Pennsylvania. Where were you guys at?
Well, we were on that air base.
Okay. Yep.
There was wasn't Anaconda. It was one south of that. There were just all logistic hubs.
Yeah.
Because when the big army goes, you have the logistics behind it. And so they leapfrog.
Yeah.
They go secure an area, logistics comes in, they go to the next mission. So we really kind of backfilled 3rd ID.
Okay.
Or 5th Corps. And we were right on the border with the MEF, the Marine Corps unit.
Yep. Awesome. Small world.
Yeah.
That is a small one. So with Warfighter Tobacco, obviously, you guys been 10 years now. Again, congrats. Great anniversary for you guys. And how many guys, like the owners and the guys that run the company, how many guys do you have in house running operations for you guys?
So right now, operations wise, there's 3 of us. And so we're not some 25, 50 employee company. And so like when we were talking about reps earlier, that's where it gets challenging for us. We've tried reps in the past. We have a broker that covers the Southwest. Working on broker on the East Coast as well right now. Brokers are awesome if they want to work. It's finding the brokers that want to work. It's kind of hard. Putting in a sales force across the United States, like, yeah, in theory we could do it, but for the first probably 2 years, I'd be throwing away about $500,000 a year just trying to get the right people in the right places and getting everything set up. You get a guy trained up and he's getting to the point where he's just starting to, everything's starting to click and he's doing good. Numbers are going up. And then he's like, oh yeah, I found this other job. Sorry. And then you got to start all over with somebody else, and it's hard because if I can teach somebody cigars, right. But trying to teach somebody sales in a short amount of time, that's so hard. it's so
not
hard.
Perfect. And I've seen it on both sides in the industry to where like there was a lot of cigar companies for a minute that were just hiring strictly sales guys.
Yep.
I would be at PCA, IPCPR, whatever you can call it, and run into somebody for company X at a booth with a sheet in front of them. And I'm like, hey, been in cigars a long time? And they're like, no, I did auto sales for the last 10 years. Now I'm doing cigar sales for this company. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I had my first cigar a month ago. You're like, oh,
exactly.
no.
There was a lot of these companies It's been like, I'm just going to hire sales guys. That doesn't necessarily work. But also just hiring cigar guys also might not work. You got to find that like perfect random mix of like somebody that can do both, where they can be an adult, sell cigars, have good communication, do their job, not just go out and drink and smoke everything they have and like be crazy, but also like have a good sales pitch. It's a really weird blend to find that perfect like rep to do the job. Yeah,
it's hard.
Interesting.
It's really hard.
I've seen both of it. I've seen guys who are like that guy, and it's a lot of road. You got to find guys that can be on the road.
Right.
Like you have to find road warriors. And so that's
kind of
also
like one of the first questions is just like, how much do you like being in an office? And if you're away from your house or family or friends or whatever for, let's say 200, 250 days a year, are you okay with that? And they're like, oh, I didn't know it was that busy. They're like, no, that's on the light end.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good, you're on the road 300 days a year,
Yeah. Monday through Friday. Go to shops, go to this area, tour that. And the weird thing about companies is you have like the bigger companies, right? Where a sales guy might have 2 states, 3 states, Florida, 1 state, whatever it is. And then you have some of the small to medium companies where you run into a rep and they'll be like, oh, I have 10 states.
Yeah. I cover the
Minnesota,
East Coast.
Yeah. I have New York up. I have, and the Midwest, all the Midwest guys have massive territories. Right. Where like I have Minnesota down and over to Pennsylvania and up, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like that's
like I know some big companies, they take Texas and they split it into 2 territories.
They do the South. They usually do the South part of Texas into like New Orleans. And the North side, they'll do like Dallas and maybe a little bit of Oklahoma, and like that's it, because nobody can have all of Texas.
And the really funny part is El Paso, they give to whoever covers Arizona, because it's closer to get from Phoenix to El Paso than it is to get from San Antonio to El Paso.
No, there's companies that will take that, and the guys that have that part of Texas over to El Paso, like, and we'll give you Vegas. And you're like, that's a huge territory.
Yeah. Yep.
But
that's funny.
It is what it is. But yeah, again, this is cigar nerdy stuff for people out there, but that's the rep thing. And that's what companies that you guys have to deal with, is you go, hey, like, we want to be in as many shops as possible. Hopefully we can have shops just organically want to carry our product. Like, that's the perfect storm, right?
Yeah.
Somebody drops you guys an email and go, we want your cigars. Great.
And we're like,
buy
awesome.
them.
Let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
otherwise you gotta have boots on the ground.
Yep. And we try to do as many events as we can. A lot of the times we try to make it so it's it's worth it for all parties involved. Sometimes we're the one that we can kind of eat it, but events are a huge tool to introduce customers to the brand, to get the story behind it, to get the story behind each one of the blends. Like every cigar has a story, and I feel like that's one of the hardest parts for like a retailer that's working their humidor, is if they could remember every story behind every cigar that every brand has ever made. I mean, they could sell 10-1 over anybody else in the world. But some of these stories, they're, some of them, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, cool. Some of them are like, oh my God, this is one of the most amazing stories I've ever heard. But then you hear 10 more of them and you're like, oh shit, what was that cigar? Oh, I forgot. What was, anyways, it's really good, But yeah, I mean, every blend has a story. You ask any company, any blender, manufacturer, whatever, there's history behind why they made that cigar.
Oh, 100%. And we would joke. I forget what trade show I was at, and we came back. And somebody was like, "How was the trade show?" And I was like, "We talked to a lot of companies. I try to always find, I have my meetings where I got to meet with my 20 companies I always meet with, and I try to go find a few new ones." And the joke was, yeah, I feel like 50 companies were like, so we had this seed in my grandfather's pocket, and we went to here, and it was like, that was like, became a running joke, because like everybody has a great story, but like, and everybody's so passionate, but like even like the smaller companies would be like, we had this seed and we grew this tobacco, and then we came to here and had this amazing, and you're like, yeah, okay. You start after day 2 or 3 of it, you start nodding. You're like, yeah, no, I bet, yeah, for sure. Like, yes. Yeah. Come on, what's your price points? What deals we're doing? 10 and 2 or what? Like, come on, like what's happening here? Like, yeah,
it's true though. Like and that's one of the things, like, us being a young company in this industry, like you're saying, we're 10 years old, right? We're, it was told to us, and it's like, oh, you guys are 10 years. Well, shit, you guys are almost an overnight success in this industry. I'm like, yeah, almost, man. We're getting there, and but we don't have that history behind the brand. We can't be like, yeah, my great grandfather, like Padron, for instance, like, they use a hammer in a lot of their marketing. They have a hammer in their booth. There's a whole story about when he immigrated to the United States, and that was his method of survival, of livelihood, was that hammer, and he carried it along into the cigars, and everything goes from there. Like, the long and the short of the story with us is, like, we got drunk in Vegas at the gun trade show, and we decided we're going to do cigars.
That's a great story. I mean, you could do the other side of it and bullshit it and be like, I brought sand back from my tour in overseas.
We planted our first tobacco plant.
We gave that to the master blender at Esteban Carreras, and then he put some of that sand into our first crop, and became our Connecticut blend. You'll taste a little bit of the Middle East.
Yeah, it tastes like freedom in the blood of our enemies.
Exactly. Like there would be companies that do that shit. Like everybody's shameless. Like, everybody does those things, and you nod and you go, "Is it a good cigar? Are people going to buy it? Do people want to buy that cigar?" Like, there's a lot of cigars I love that I don't currently carry, just because maybe the market or whatever it is, like, it is what it is. And you ran a shop before you did this. We joke about all the time. 10 years ago.
Yep.
How many cigars in your average humidor were over $20?
Zero.
Right?
Padron,
like maybe a couple.
Maybe a Davidoff, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
You go to an average shop now. How many cigars are over $20?
Man.
20%.
Yeah.
A lot.
I remember, I think it was, was it last? No, it wasn't this past one at PC. I think it was the year prior. It might have been the one before that. I'm getting them mixed up. But it was like the year of everyone released a $25 to $30 MSRP cigar. Like, everybody. And it's just like, whoa. And then I saw transitions, right? I saw a shop in Arizona, and their cheapest cigar was $18. They had nothing under, and they're like, well, I make more money with these higher margins, and it brings in a better clientele. A year later, the guy was out of business. He shut its doors. Because there's only so many people that are going to buy a 20, 30. At the end of the day, right? Like, you're seeing those things on the internet where it's like, describe what you do horribly. And I like to say, like, I convince people to take a $10 bill out of their pocket, light it on fire, and smile.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, that's kind of what it is. Yes, you're getting enjoyment out of it. You're getting a high quality product. You're getting some amazing flavors out of these cigars. There's the relaxation, the community that comes with it. Like, all of this plays into effect, right? But when you describe it horribly, it's like, hey, pull that $10, light it on fire, and be happy about it. Now imagine if I was like, hey, pull $30 out of your pocket, light it on fire, and smile. But do that 3 times a day, every day for a week.
Right.
And
you can't.
Like, it's so hard. Those price points are so high.
It's hard, and there's just too many. There's just too many now. And I joke, like, the year of the whatever is every year that everybody's doing, whatever the Zodiac thing is. Like, year of the horse was this year, and this year was also really bad. There were some really good releases, but this was the 250 year.
Yep.
So everybody did America 250 cigar, because why would you not? Like, everybody's got to jump on that. And
we did it on purpose. We did not do a 250 cigar.
You guys should fuck with it next year and do a 251 cigar. This is like because no one else will. Like, do a 251.
Oh, man.
Like, sure. There you go. There's your market idea. Like, we're gonna do the 251 because
you got my gears turning now.
Fuck it.
Oh, how fun would that be? Or like,
yeah,
wait a
why
couple
not?
years to be like, we're celebrating the 253rd anniversary of our great nation with this cigar.
That's right, with this cigar. A lot of people did a 250. We're here for 253 because guess what? No one else is.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we talked about it too. It wasn't like we were just like, oh shit, we're late to the party. We were, I don't know, in the end of the Q1, beginning Q2 of 2025, and kicking around ideas, and we're like, hey, 250 next year. And I was like, how many companies are going to do this? And some are going to be nice, They might be great blends. I was like, but there's so much of a gimmick that's involved, at least in my opinion, of doing a 250th anniversary cigar that like I can't get behind it. Like I would do an anniversary of the Army birthday before I do a 250th. Like I don't know. It's tough for me. I need a better reason besides something that I had absolutely nothing to do with to be able to create a cigar and market it. Like if I had family that was involved, generationally in the military or something, like give me something that ties me or my company personally with this, and I'm all over it. But like,
I mean, you guys are at 10 years. Like a lot of companies would be doing a 10-year blah 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 coffin.
We did our 10th anniversary cigar.
Yeah, you did. Sorry.
I smoked that yesterday.
You're right. I gave you that. You're right.
Yep.
I gave him my one, actually. You guys sent me one, and I gave it to this guy.
Thumbs up. It was awesome. Thank you.
I'm a huge fan of Sumatra. Like I said, I'm smoking the 762 Field Sumatra right now. That's Indonesian Sumatra. That 10th anniversary, we used Ecuadorian Sumatra. Also, big, huge fan of Ecuadorian tobacco. And we wanted to show off a little bit of the fun that we can do with the cigar flavor-wise without just bombing everybody with strength. And I think we did a pretty good job on that 10th anniversary.
And we will, and again, I'm going to hit up your colleague. We'll have 10th anniversary for the event on the 10th that we're doing with you guys. So we'll have some boxes that available at that. Again, we kind of worked with Warfighter space-wise. We're like, look, I know we can showcase 5 facings initially for space. What do we want to showcase from the company? So we asked you guys, what do you think for this? Obviously, we want to have the 5th edition available and then some good core line stuff as well. So I'm excited to smoke the 10th. I gave my one to this guy, so I will smoke it eventually. I love Sumatra as well. So for me, my favorite OG Sumatras are usually stuff out of my father factory. Mm-hmm. So, even the Tatawai Kahone 12 Sumatra, the Judge, like Sumatra, like there's some amazing Sumatras. I think my father does a really good job with a lot of Sumatra stuff personally. In your cigar journey before the company, what cigar companies did you gravitate towards? What were you smoking regularly, or even what do you smoke now? It's not your own guy, but you guys.
So right now I smoke so much random stuff. If it's good, I'll buy multiples, or it's rarely that I'll buy a box of something else. Just because, I mean, I got it's hard to see, but on the backside of where my screen is right now, I got a 3,000 count humidor completely full. In that humidor, there might be about 500 Warfighter cigars. Everything else is a different brand. I'm upstairs in my house right now. Downstairs, I have a 100 count tabletop humidor. Same. That's about 80% other brands, not Warfighter tobacco. And then at the shop, we have our huge walk-in humidor we store everything in. I have a whole shelf on there. And I think I have a bundle of redacted cigars. I have a box of Victory cigars. And I think I got a couple test blends, and that's it. Everything else on that shelf is a different brand. And I feel like when there's so many new cigars that come out and so many brands that do so much stuff, and I haven't smoked everything on the market. It's almost impossible. There's so many cigars out there. But I'm going to try. Like, I want to know what other people are doing. I want to know. And it's not just like I pick it up and I smoke it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was good. Like, I'll do some homework on the cigar, try to find, tasting notes or, the backstory behind it or whatever that the manufacturer is putting out, because I want to know what their intention of that cigar was. Like, why did you pick this tobacco in hopes to get these flavors out of it? Okay, I'm going to smoke it and I'm going to really try to pay attention to figure all this out. Because trying to figure out and learning what their why is behind that blend, it gives me a little bit more knowledge on when I do my next blend or a test blend that's coming in the future or, something like that. And like I was saying, there's so much new stuff on the market. Like, I'll walk into a humidor, I'm like, dude, that wasn't here last week. Like, yeah, we just got it in. I'm like, cool, give me 2. Like, I don't even care who it is or what it was. It's new. I didn't recognize it. Let me try it. It could be the best cigar I've ever smoked in my life. Or it could be a dog turd with a cigar band on it. Like, I don't know.
No, I love to hear that, because there are a lot of cigar companies that don't do that, right? They just smoke their own stuff and they make their own things and they go, well, we make the best cigars in the world. Like, why would I? And you run into that with reps as well. Like, you'll meet a rep and be like, hey, what are you smoking out there? What's good? Well, I have my, and they just go through their sales pitch, and you go, oh, well, you're not a cigar guy. Like, and then I have my reps that they come in representing customer, company X. They come into the humidor and go, oh shit, you got the new whatever, and they're buying other people's stuff because they're at heart, they're still a cigar guy.
Yeah.
Maybe they worked at the shop, maybe they geek out, whatever, but at the end of the day, they're a cigar guy and they want to smoke what they want to smoke. And so I always appreciate that. The cigar guys in the industry that smoke other people's stuff as well, because they know it's just not their company making the best stuff out there. I always give them more credit because they're a cigar guy.
They're real.
They're real. You're right. They're real. So what I meant to ask was, I need a company. Like, what have you smoked in the last few months where you're like, that was good?
Let's see. Oh man. Actually, there's a newer veteran-owned brand called HDA. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
Hermanos de Armas. They've been around for a couple of years now. Like we were just talking about how much we both love Sumatra. They had a Sumatra that they kicked out, I think it was last year or so. And so I smoked one of those recently. I was very impressed with that. It was really good construction cigar. I'm trying to think of what other some other stuff that I smoked that's just crazy jumped out at me lately. One of my go-tos used to be the La Ranja. And I can't remember
Espinosa.
Yeah,
Espinosa. It's gone now.
I
killed
know.
it.
And I'm so now if I see him in a humidor, I try to hoard him. And
You have to.
I feel bad because it's like, but hey, I like that cigar.
It's actually funny that if you look back, there's an episode that we did last year, me and Rex Mercer, our Drew Estate rep, where I apparently broke the news of them killing that, and I didn't mean to.
Oh no!
Like I had a meeting with Eric Espinosa and my rep like a couple weeks earlier, and they told me, "Hey, the Ranja's going away. We're going to release the green next year at the trade show, all this stuff. But whatever we got from Orange, we're selling it." So Rex and I are talking about like our favorite Lanceros of all time, and Rex goes, "Man, that Laranja Lancero is like one of my favorite Lanceros ever." And I was like, "Buy him now because that's gone." He goes, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that blend's going away." And the comment section's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh no!" Like no one knew that the Laranja was going away. And I said it on the podcast. I was like, "Oh shit!"
You're gonna get a call.
I got a text from Eric a couple days ago. He's like, "Thanks, bro." I was like,
Sorry.
I was like, "Well, I might help you sell whatever you had in stock quick."
Yeah.
Because no, I will say they haven't launched it yet. It's still supposed to be this year. That Laranja, the new green one, I smoked it at the trade show, and it is really, really good.
Yeah.
Very different from the original.
Okay.
But man, like I love that orange. Like
That's
it's
so
such
good.
a good cigar.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I got a buddy who, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago used to work for LFD and a couple other companies. And so he's got a whole bunch of like kind of rare, but just very well aged LFD cigars. And so a big fan of some of those stuff. Not so much their new stuff. I'm not saying that it's bad, but
Sure.
You put 8-10 years of age on a cigar and it's gonna be damn good,
Yeah.
So I've been smoking a bunch of those. We switched to Tabacalera Carreras in I think the beginning of 2020. It was like the week before COVID hit and the whole entire world shut down.
Yeah.
Before that, we were with Plasencia.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so when their brand launched and they started exploding, some of their cigars that were like they were my go-tos for a while. And it wasn't like their $20-$60 cigars. It was their like $12-$14 sticks.
Yeah, it was like the 151s and the originals and all that stuff. It wasn't the the Fuertes and the Alma Fuertes and stuff like that.
Don't get me wrong; the Almas, that whole series, they're phenomenal cigars.
Oh, they're amazing.
We're back in that $20-$30 price point, And you look at some of their,
and they were probably $18,
Yeah,
and now they're like 20. Now they're like 24. But also, you probably remember, and I tell newer cigars this all the time. I look at a box, and I go, "Hey, when this brand launched, you got an ashtray with every single one of these Plasencia boxes.
Every box.
You were like, what are you talking about?" I'm like, this whole collection, they sent you the box. It had an ashtray built into the box. And so you got an ashtray with every box. And people were like, what? It's the most
Yep.
confusing thing. Like
I
every single box.
I have one on my desk at my shop.
Of course you do.
It's awesome. I love it.
It's a great ashtray. But I remember walking into big shops and they'd have a pile of like 30 Placencia ashtrays stocked up because they just restocking the shelves over time. And they're like, hey, you bought 4 cigars. You want a Placencia ashtray? You need one? Here's one.
Yeah.
It was a great, like, I want to say gimmick at the time, but like, I can't even fathom that nowadays where you're buying like $160 box and it comes with a nice ashtray as well for a great cigar. Like,
I
really cool.
I can't imagine the cost involved on their side,
God.
on Placencia side of it. And I'm pretty sure that's why they don't do it anymore.
100%. You're like, wait, no, we're done. Axe that. Whose idea was that? Jim's? Well, Jim's fired. Like, give it to Jim.
No, right?
Like,
Jim, he had a good run.
He had a good run. His idea was, let's give away an ashtray with every box of every single cigar we sell. And it was wild because it wasn't like when you go to an event and you buy a box, you get the ashtray. The shop just gets the ashtrays.
Yeah, it was
when they receive the boxes. So they can take those and put them on the shelf and be like, hey, Placencia ashtray, $25. Like, they do whatever the hell they want with them.
Right?
It was wild.
Yeah. No, that was. I remember when I first saw those come out, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how they're doing this.
No, I mean, they had a hell of a drum set in their booth.
They
always did. Great booth, great coffee, cool drum set. Placencia booth is always on point. Great cigars. So you guys switched from them. Oh, did we lose John? We lost video for a second. Oh, John, are you there? There he is.
Okay, sorry.
John's back. So you guys had Placencia.
I just
switch over to Esteban. So kept the same original blends, new blends now with the new company. Like, what was the transition for you guys?
One second, guys. We got some technical
difficulties. Oh, John will be back in a second. Well, the other John, Ronnie, that's here. Let's talk about the cigar that we have.
I'm jamming on this.
It's really good.
It is very consistent. The construction is solid. It's a little nutty, like a pecan.
Yeah,
type,
I can see that.
You know,
it's really good.
It goes great with a single malt scotch.
I haven't relit it. Again, it's in that $20-ish price point. It's their big dollar cigar, 10-count box, and again, 20% off 10-count boxes at Copper. So you can grab a box, bring it down a little bit. But really good. I would smoke this again.
Yes,
100%.
I would definitely smoke it again.
Yeah, it's a really good cigar.
I might be making a call to you.
Okay. Well, I only have a few boxes left.
Okay. Well,
I can order more. John says they have some more in stock. We haven't talked about the whiskey yet tonight.
Yes.
Oh, John's back.
Hi guys, sorry.
You're good?
I made a rookie mistake. I did not put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and somebody just tried calling, and it completely messed everything up.
You're good. We were just talking about how much we like this cigar. The 5th edition is really, really good.
So the cool thing about our Victory cigar, right? We keep the blend the same. We just change the Batoli. We change the shape of the cigar on every edition. So it's always going to be that same, Brazilian Matafina wrapper, Nicaragua binder filler. It's always going to be a 6x54. This one is a shaggy foot. The one before it was a closed foot torpedo. We did a pigtail.
Like
we did a box press torpedo once. We had a regular Toro. So we're just having a little bit of fun with it every single time. When we did the closed foot, it was really nice because you got a huge influx of that Matafina flavor right out the gate. And then on this edition, we did the opposite. Right now, you get that wrapper binder. The binder filler for about half an inch or so, and then that wrapper flavor just gives a nice big punch once you get into that.
That's fun. If you find any of those torpedoes in hiding, the guy across from me loves a good torpedo.
Send them.
Yeah,
send some up this way. He loves a good torpedo.
I'm a huge torpedo fan, and I'm a big box press fan as well.
Yeah, it's like that, like the OG, like Milano Figurado, and that like box press, like kind of. It's got both going on. It's like an iconic, fun cigar.
Well, maybe he can dispel something or confirm something that I was told by another cigar rep. In that, I was told that the torpedoes are the hardest cigar to roll, so they're done by the most senior rollers. Is that
that it's mostly true.
Okay.
The mostly true is they definitely have to be trained on how to do that the right way. So that way you don't run into construction issues or hollow spots, or it's, that instead of the torpedo looking like this, the torpedo looks like that. You know what I mean? So those guys do have to get a little bit extra training for that. But in my opinion, the hardest cigar to roll is a Solomon, because essentially you have two tapered ends, right?
Yep.
And you got to light it through, a toothpick essentially. And so even if it's made completely perfect, the end user can mess up that cigar by not lighting it correctly. And then it's really hard to get somebody who's not a very experienced cigar smoker to be able to smoke a Solomon and have it burn correctly. Most of the time it's user error. Some of the time it's construction error. But yeah, that's probably, in my opinion, one of the hardest cigars that's rolled out there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Yeah, Solomon would probably be up there. Obviously, we always heard about torpedoes, figurados being very, very hard to roll.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing a story, I think it was like 2016. I forget what year it was. It was the year that the Milano Figurado got Cigar of the Year. And
I think it was 15 or 16. I think you're right.
Yeah, it was right around there. And I remember I had a really funny meeting at the trade show that year with Oliva. And they're like, yeah, we've been making the Milano for years now, and we have a lot of great sizes. And they had to give the fucking Cigar of the Year to the Figurado, where we have two people that roll that size at the factory. So that's gonna be fun. And then the question for the company is, do you ramp up production to meet the demand and maybe suffer on quality by having other people roll it, or do you deal with who's rolling it and have back orders? And that's the whole thing about when you have a weird size, get a Cigar of the Year versus I remember they looked at me and they're like, why couldn't it just be the Robusto? Why couldn't it be not?
Everybody makes it, but that's a good Robusto.
The Maduro Robusto is one of my favorite Oliva cigars, but it had to be the Figurado. Of course it is. That's how it goes, and it's all subjective. I mean, I always look at the list when they come out. Half Wheel, I think, does a really good job of doing consensus. They bring stuff in. Dojo, I love the stuff that Cigar Dojo does with their list. They bring a lot of fun stuff in, but I used to have guys who would show up at the shop with the magazine and just be like, do you have this? Like, go down the list and, oh, yeah, it's over here. Yeah, it's over here. Or you could just ask me and we'll find some really good cigars for you.
Yeah.
The lists are good. It brings some stuff in. I saw you guys got a really high rating from Cigar and Spirits on the Corojo, I think it was.
So we got some rating on Cigars and Cigar and Spirits, but that was from... oh shit, that was 2017 time frame. I mean, we had the blend's still the same, but we learned a lot. We didn't have the greatest experience with Cigars and Spirits. They don't like to proof anything. They were giving the wrong ratings to the wrong cigars with the wrong pictures and the wrong descriptions.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was on every single thing that they published for us. It was a good lesson learned. I'm glad we learned it young and early. But ratings there's a handful of companies that do ratings that I actually trust and believe, and there's a lot of companies that do ratings that it's purely based on ad spend. And it sucks to say it, and
we all know, everyone in the industry knows that. We go, I mean, there's gonna be cigars that never make Cigar Aficionado's top 25, not because they're not good, just because people don't pay them money. It is what it is.
We're 10 years and I'm still trying to figure out how to get Cigar Aficionado to rate one of our cigars without us paying them. So,
well, being on this podcast is a good start, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, hey, Cigar Aficionado loves me.
If you're watching this,
really big with those
I've reached
guys.
out to you a million times.
I will say I have a pretty relationship with the guys at Half Wheel. The Dojo guys have a great relationship with. So have you been with the Dojo guys before?
Tomorrow on my to-do list is to reach out to Cigar Dojo. We've been going back and forth for a little while, and we're going to try to lock down some stuff. I love everything that they do. They have a great platform, and it's really fun. And then I'm a brain fire right now. Half Wheel, jeez.
Yeah.
Half Wheels. That's one of the ones where I'll trust their ratings. And that's because of the transparency that they have behind everything they do. Like you were talking about the consensus, right? They compile a list of everything and put it all together, and they show all their data points and they link everything. They're not hiding anything. When they do their reviews, they'll tell you if it was, this company advertises with us, or no, this company doesn't pay us anything. And then you can see that actually the companies that pay overall have a slightly lower review than the ones that don't pay. And I don't know if it's because the cigars are slightly less quality or whatever, but in that consensus and everything, when you go through line by line, all that data they put out, they'll put it in there clear as day. Okay, we rated this many cigars, an average rating of this, and these were the paid guys who advertised with us, and here's so many cigars we rated with the average score of this, and these are not advertising companies that we rated. And it's just like, I love the transparency, guys. This is awesome.
I do too, and I love like when they give like factory of the year. It's all easy. They just go, hey, these are the cigars we reviewed this year, and the cigars on this factory had the highest average score, so it's our factory of the year. Like when Nika Sueño got it from Roman Craft a few years ago, they just had the highest rated cigars out of that factory via Pestaña and Roman Craft, and I smoke a lot of Roman Craft. Yeah, and I was like, all day, all freaking day. And the minute that happened, I had laminated signs in my humidor, and it was like Roma Craft Half Wheels Factory of the Year. Like, here you go. And like, it's one of those brands. We've had Mike Rosales on the episodes, and I've been a Roma guy for a lot of years. But like, with everybody creeping up, man, it's hard for me now to tell people like, dude, this Roma Craft for $10, $11, like $12, like all day, smoke this. Like, they make so many good cigars. Right. I'm always passionate about that company. And when they came out with the Volstead a few years ago, a new line that came out in that $8 to $10 range when everybody else was in the $15 range for a new blend. Like, respect to those guys to do that, because there's not a lot of people that do. Like, no, I think they're doing it right, and they're Texas guys.
Yeah, I think they're about 2 hours from where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you hit up the dojo, you talk to Sensei, you talk to Eric, say, hey, I did a podcast with this Italian guy the other night, Joe. We should do a collab episode. Like, have you on, have me on, and we'll do a dojo night with Warfighter. Me and Eric will argue about meatballs for like a couple hours, and you guys talk about your blend. Again, he talks about his food. We get arguments every year at the trade show. He says he makes good Italian food. I'm sure he makes good Italian food. I'm sure Eric from the dojo makes fine Italian. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. There was an amazing, I think it was a TPE around like 2019 or something like that. It was me, Caldwell, Pilato, and Eric from the dojo just yelling at each other about meatballs for like an hour in Vegas. It was one of the funniest conversations we ever had. We said we wanted to have like a Guido off in the Midwest where we all just wore wife beaters and chains and made meatballs. I still haven't done that. But
I'm in. I'm a big fan of Italian food, so I'll be one of the judges.
there you go. We'll do that. We'll have the next Dojo Fest in Wyoming next year. So Warfighter will be involved. I'll fly out, and we'll do a meatball competition between Cigar Dojo, whatever private chef they want to hire, because I know Eric won't do it, and my meatballs, and we'll just do that. It'll be the meatball off of the. So this year they did it.
You have to accompany that with risotto.
Oh, we can't do meatballs and risotto. That's like a side. They just give meatballs.
Come on,
meatballs. Man. I mean, meatball sandwiches. But it was really cool this year. So they moved the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. Colorado got really dumb with their cigar laws and stuff. And so even though the dojo guys are based out of Colorado, Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest moved to Wyoming. And the night before the big fest, they did like a Docello night on that Friday. They did their new release and stuff like that on Friday. It looked like it was a great time. Looked like it was really awesome. So I've heard from a lot of people, if you're going to go to one of the cigar fests around the country, Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest is really, really cool. Really, really cool.
We're going to try to be a vendor at Rocky Mountain next year. This year, time, I think it just sped up, and we ran out of time to get everything ready in time for the event. And that's not one of those events you can just kind of throw together. Like, you need to be well planned in
for
advance
sure.
for it, because it's that good of an event. And but yeah, so next year we're hoping to be at Rocky Mountain. That'll be our first year there as a vendor. I've been there before just as an attendee, and it was obviously when it was in Colorado, and so much fun. I mean, I didn't even know how many people were there. Thousands. At least it felt that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I've heard again. I've only heard good things. I need to go. One of my good friends, Brandon, went a couple of years ago, and he said it was one of the best things I've ever been to. And this guy been to CI Fest and Big Smokes and all those other things. And
Right.
I've heard from everybody that it's the most fun cigar fest you can go to is Rocky Mountain. And thanks, Eric and the Dojo guys and everybody else that puts it on, because we need more of that. Like, it was a bummer. The Midwest tried to start that. We did one 2 years ago in Michigan. It was like the first ever Great Lakes Cigar Fest, and it went well. They didn't do one this year. They're going to try to come back next year, but we don't really have that big one up here in the Midwest. Like right now,
if you're not consistent with it, people just they don't do
Right.
it. Like Nebraska did one, and when we were up there, and for the 3 years in a row, it was awesome. And then they skipped a year, and then they tried to do it somewhere else, and it was just like, okay, you guys, you killed it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. You had it, and then you just destroyed it.
I'm surprised. Does Texas not have one? Is there not one in Texas?
We do, but we have a lot of them, right? And because there's a lot of them, none of them are really good. There's Cigar Week in Houston. I've heard mixed reviews on it. San Antonio tried to do one, but they're not like, everyone's trying to do their own thing in their own way. And it's like, look, guys, other people have figured this out, and they're doing it year after year after year.
Just copy it, copy paste. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Like the one in San Antonio, they're like, yeah, so Friday night it's at this shop, Saturday night it's at this shop, Sunday night it's at this shop, and then we're doing an event over here, but you can't smoke there. And it's just like, what are you doing? There's a local shop called Fink Cigars, and every year they do what they call Fink Cigar Bash. And,
so also, Fink carries all your guys' stuff. I was looking at Finks earlier today, actually. Yeah,
they do, but they do a huge event every year. It's a big charity event, and it's only box sales. You can't buy single cigars. You only buy box of cigars. And I think last year there's 26 cigar vendors that were there. We started with 70 something boxes of cigars on the table. We sold out. It's a 5-hour event. We sold out in less than 2 hours. I'm like, now what do we do? It was awesome though. Like they have it dialed in. They've done it. I think this is their 14th year or something like that. Like they know it's, well-oiled machine. They sold 800 tickets in 45 minutes.
Damn.
And it's just like, there's a picture perfect example of how to run this. Just take what they're doing and recreate it somewhere else. Look at Rocky Mountain, recreate it somewhere else. Ybor Cigar Fest, create it somewhere else.
Right.
There's so many of these events that have been going on for 10 plus years. And they work phenomenally.
Yeah.
Just go
do the thing where you show up and you get like a cigar from every vendor in a bag. Like that's easy. Or do a complete buy-in event, or do a hybrid. Those are your three options. And then get your food and your other vendors locked in. It's not rocket science.
No,
but
it's not.
People want to reinvent the wheel and do a thing their own way, and whatever it is. It happens.
Crazy.
Big events are hard. I've thrown a lot of big events.
Oh, they suck.
And it could be a nightmare. It could be a nightmare to do that. And you always wonder when you put the tickets on sale, you're like, is anybody gonna buy a ticket? Is anybody gonna buy a ticket? And the people do, and you sell it and you get through it and you're happy afterward. But it is stressful to throw those big cigar events. You got, we're getting the owner of this company flying in for this thing. Like, God, I hope we get at least 100 people here for this or whatever it is. And it is stressful. As someone that runs these events, like, it's, you think in your mind when you go to PCA and you line these things up, no brainer. Then you put them on sale. And I'll say this, most of my big events years ago, the economy definitely was better. I do think we're at a point right now where the big ticketed event is slowing down because of the current economy. I think the $200 ticket, $300 ticket, $400 ticket event is wearing on people because we are at a spot where people are, I'm seeing the transition where the $20-$30 cigars are less bought, and guys are finding the $10 to $15 cigars they love, the $8 cigars they love, because guys aren't going to stop their habits. But I do think people are a little stressed at the wallet right now, and I'm seeing that in shops.
Yeah. Everything. When your day-to-day expenses get more expensive, then the money that's set aside for the leisure time, that's where it gets cut from. And
it's gonna hit bourbon cigars first.
Yep.
Well, bourbon sales has dropped almost 25%. You'd think some prices would adapt.
Alcohol
that's not
sales
gonna happen.
decade over decade. I don't know if you guys seen any of those stats or not, but this new generation, they don't drink like we used to, boys.
No, they ain't.
I mean,
they're not
down
drinking. The young drinkers aren't out there.
$10
They're not, which I guess more for the rest of us. But no, it's a real thing. Like the 21 to 20, probably 6-year-olds right now aren't drinking. They're not going out. They're not nightlife people. They're not going out to eat as much. They're not going to bars and restaurants. Like the Vegas is being killed right now because the tourism industry has been hurt for the last couple of years. So even Vegas is like really struggling with tourism because of that.
I remember you used to be able to get everything comped in Vegas. I can't tell you the last time I got anything comped in Vegas.
Dude, no, never. Like, come give us your money and thanks for being here. That's pretty much Vegas right now.
That's it. Like, here's a sticker. You're like, oh, great.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We didn't ask, and we haven't talked about our bottle yet. John, what are you sipping on tonight? What do you have there at the house?
I'm drinking Weller Antique 107.
I got one. Hold on.
It's delicious.
I don't have that bottle in the studio. I got a purple top Weller that we did on an episode not long ago. This is a really cool family estate bottle. I do love Willet.
Nice.
Willet's like probably my favorite bourbon.
He's doing Weller 107.
Yeah,
Weller Antique 107.
Sorry, I said Willet. You said Weller.
Which is a fine whiskey.
Amazing whiskey. I love Weller. Love Willet a little bit more, but it's hard to get. Like Willet's like really hard to get. Really hard. Weller's awesome, but Weller's hard for us to get up here.
Weller's difficult in Indiana.
Really difficult.
Yeah. It's crazy that states are so different about stuff like that. Like Weller, we just found a liquor store here in just outside San Antonio. I can buy that bottle of Weller for $65.
Right.
I'm like, Jesus. I don't know the last time I'm like, yeah, cool, give me two.
That'd be if it's on the shelf here in Indiana, that's a $90 bottle.
I was going to say $100 bottle.
Yeah, it's 90 or 100 up here.
And
just
so
because they can.
for that,
now, Michigan, just north of us, Michigan has a state law that alcohol has to be sold at MSRP.
Ooh.
So if you buy it in Detroit at $90, it's in Grand Rapids at $90, it's here at $90, whatever. Like you can't gouge on liquor in Michigan. So
That's
it's the
awesome.
price is the price, which is how it should be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah. Because there's booze out there that, at normal price, I'd buy it all day. But what it's priced at on the shelf, I'm all set, Like it's just not worth it. On one of the other podcasts I do, we have a Patreon, section of it. And on the Patreon, we do what we call a one sip synopsis. And so every week we have no idea what it is. The bottle, our producer pours us drinks, puts the bottle in a brown paper bag, sets it down.
Ooh.
And he brings us all the glasses and we're like, okay, we start recording. We can smell it, sip it. We can do whatever we want to do. We just can't look at that bottle. And then we have to rate it out of 0 to 10. And we can go to 2 decimal places just because, it's fun.
Sure.
And there's no science behind our ratings, right? It's not like, oh, okay, so I gave it a 6 under flavor and an 8 under strength. It's just like 0 out of 10. What do you think it is?
Yeah.
And so we've done that for, I want to say 70 or 80 episodes. It's a good amount of booze that we've gone through. And it's crazy because we open it up to our listeners and we're like, hey, give us suggestions. Tell us what you like or what you think we should try. And if we can find it, we'll go get a bottle. We'll try it. And so we have this massive list of all this stuff. And it's pretty interesting what you rate just based off of smell and taste. And then you open that bag and you look at that bottle and you're like, oh man, that sucks because I really love that. you know.
Yeah.
I don't know why he gave it a 5. That should be like an 8. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really
but that's
cool.
opened my eyes to a lot of different bourbons and whiskeys and stuff that's out there
Sure.
that normally I wouldn't try.
No, it's really, really cool. Have you had any of the Larrikin stuff?
I tried one of them. I can't remember which one it was. I did really like it though.
Okay.
I think it was a white label.
We've had a couple on the episode, and the guy's got a really cool story. He's a vet, and he was in like the Australian military, then was in the U.S. military, and the
cool.
story alone's like crazy.
Right.
Like he was like on tours in Afghanistan and Iraq for the Australian military, and then the U.S. asked him if he'd retire from that so they could hire him as their own. So then he did tours the U.S. military, then moved to the U.S. Didn't know what he wanted to do. Moved to Kentucky and was like, I want to do bourbon.
Yeah, like this is
And so
awesome.
you have this like Australian guy that worked for both retired from 2 different militaries. Now he's doing bourbon.
That's
And
cool.
He's got some really cool stuff. And so we have a bottle. I think it's on, it's on the shelf up there.
Yeah.
We did an episode with one of his hazmats, and it's like 145.
Oh my
proof.
gosh!
Oh
And-
man.
You showed me that bottle.
You drank, you had
I'd
some of it,
say, yeah.
and you guys were like, oh fuck. And I remember Rex on the episode. We did a really big episode where we did that whiskey with the Grand Kahonu from Tatawahe, which is a really big, awesome cigar, but just really full. And it was just kind of like a fuck it episode. It was like, we're gonna do a really big whiskey and a really full bodied cigar and try to see how long we can last with this thing. And I had their 9-year sherry cask the other night. It was really, really nice. They have some great whiskeys. Really cool story. See the kangaroo bottles on the shelf.
Nice.
But the story alone, my bud Rob. So you should hit these guys up, and Rob will probably see this podcast. There's a really great shop like an hour south of us called Final Third.
Okay.
And great cigar bar in Pendleton, Indiana. And they carry more boutique stuff. I think they're the only Aladino lounge in the Midwest, actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, like they really care about tobacco and whiskey and stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that. And I feel like Warfighter would be a really good ad. So, Rob, if you don't see this right now, I'll text you tomorrow. We'll talk
Reach
about
out.
Warfighter.
We're here for you, man. I don't have a rep in that state, but you got to deal with me or Dave.
Yeah, we'll give Rungy a side gig. So I thought about this earlier. I think what we have to do with Warfighter is we'll do like a boots on the ground program to where we'll just take retired vets and we'll send them like a bundle a month and just say, hey, go to your local shop and tell them to buy Warfighter tobacco. And if you get it going, we'll send you like a little point or something, some free
Did
cigars.
you not hear the gets paid to take naps part of this?
Yeah, but you would get paid in cigars to go into shops you're already going to go into anyways and push a veteran brand. Like it's a boots on the ground movement. Or we
thought
just
about doing that.
freely employ retired vets to like push the brand.
Yeah. We thought about doing that, but we have a local shop here in Texas that as of right now we don't have the greatest relationship with. And I'm still trying to figure out why. And the backstory behind it is I've been into that shop 3 times. All 3 times I was in that shop, 2 of them were sales calls, sat down, had cigars with the owner and the manager, a couple of customers that were there. Great conversations. The 3rd time I went in, it was my buddy's birthday. And, when you get into smoking pipe tobacco, traditionally that your first pipe should be a gift. You shouldn't be buying your first setup, At least that's how it was explained to me. So they're one of the closest shops to where I live. So I roll in there and I'm like, hey, my buddy's birthday is tomorrow. I need a pipe. I need tobacco. I need a tamper. I need a soft flame lighter. Just set me up. Give me
The
all
whole
of it.
thing.
Here's my budget. And they're like, awesome. And they went through, they got, the best of the best, what they could fit in the budget that I had. Thanked them very much, grabbed all the stuff, left. Hey, happy birthday. Here's all your stuff. So fast forward a couple of years, and I hear through the rumor mill, hey, this shop, they don't like you guys at all. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I guess some rep came in and just really fucking pissed them off, and they're pissed at you. Oh, okay, let me go take care of this. And I've gone there a couple of times, but every time I go there, the owners, managers, they're not in. It's just like perfect timing, right? So what I'm assuming what happened is somebody else, not an employee of Warfighter Tobacco, because we don't have many, I know all of them, was in there bugging them, but being way too aggressive about it.
Yeah.
It might have even been like, instead of being like, hey, I'm friends with these guys, but like, yeah, you know, I'm just representing them right now. In his brain, he might have just been like, hey, I'm a friend just trying to get him in. In the shop's brain, that's like, oh, you're a representative of that company. And this is how representatives of that company treat us. Like, no, we're all set. So I was still trying to build, you know, mend some bridges with that one. But no, we kicked around the idea of like, hey, there's a lot of retired military guys that are cigar smokers that are just hanging around. Like, this could be a reason to get them out of the house. Like, I can't pay your gas, but you know, maybe I can give you a spiff if you close the deal. You know, like, I don't know.
I mean,
it's
possible.
Like, yeah, but then that happened, and I was like, maybe we're just going to be doing a lot of damage control.
Yeah, we'll dial back, because for every 5 good ones, you might have that 6th one where you go.
But this is,
there was a fist fight in Iowa because the owner and the rep came to blows over whatever it was, and you're like, ugh. And there's a write up on Half Wheel about a fight at a shop in Iowa, and you're like, oh, we don't want that bad press.
Was that recent?
No, I was joking. I was like, said that could happen. Okay. You'd have like 5 good relationships, and then that one would happen where it's like Warfighter rep and owner of company in Iowa got in a fist fight.
Yeah,
like, right. Oh, shoot. Yeah.
No, here's the shitty part, right? If the Warfighter rep didn't win, now we got a big issue.
Well, yeah, no, you have to win. That's where you win. You have to win the fight. Like,
that's it.
We're gonna,
like, no.
That could be a prereq. I mean, you could make guys take at least a physical training test before they sign on. Right. Like, hey, if you're going to start shit, you gotta at least finish it. Like, if you're going to represent Warfighter,
you at least got to get
behind the counter down if like you get into a fight or something.
We kicked around a marketing idea years ago where it was our cigar company can beat up your cigar company. But I was like, I love everyone in this industry. I don't want to start fake fights with people, you know?
No, I mean, honestly, I know enough people in the industry. Your deal at the trade show next year should just be like, every 20 push-ups you can do, we'll give you 5% off your show deal. Get down and do some friggin' push-ups. And you'll be like, look, I know guys in the industry. The most we're going to give out is like 10%.
Right.
Like these guys aren't doing push-ups.
If you can't do 10 push-ups, then we're adding 10% on.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the baseline's 30. If you come in under that, we're just going to add % onto your invoice.
You know,
do that.
When you guys go to the show next year and you see our show specials, you're going to be like, son of a bitch.
Oh God, they did the push-up deal. It was such a good idea. Such a good idea.
You're just going to have to prepare.
I know, right? I'll start training now. I'm just going to be doing push-ups all day, every day.
50.
Ooh,
I can do 50 push-ups. I can do 50 push-ups. Like, that's like, I know I can do 50. That's hard, but I can do 50 push-ups. I'm not in very good shape right now.
That's it. Don't ask me to do anything for the next week, but I can do it once.
Push-ups, like, now sit-ups? Oh, sit-ups are a different thing. Like, sit-ups, I could probably do like 15 or 20. Like, sit-ups are hard, man. Abs,
well, you just got a shot in your back, too.
I did get a shot in my back. Yeah, sit-ups are hard, man. Push-ups are a little bit easier.
As we get older, all this stuff hurts a lot more.
Yeah, stretching's hard.
Oh, like my fitness goal in life is to be able to put my shoes on and breathe at the same time. That's it. I don't want to bench press 300 pounds or squat 400 or pull this truck. No, I want to put my shoes on and I want to breathe all at the same time. That's it. That's my only goal in life.
So I still play beer league hockey, and I'll have weeks where like I put on my gear and I'm like, oh. That was hard.
Yeah, like when you go to tie your skates
and everything, like that was kind of a workout. Just put my pads on, like hockey.
And then you go tie your skates.
Yeah, those tying skates is really hard. I wish we had better. Wish you had better Velcro for like real skates, because that'd be a lot easier. But
you need to get like the golf shoes have the dials.
They've had shitty skates where they have that thing, but you need real skates, and it's hard. Like, you're always sweating like after you put your gear on. You're like, oh, now we gotta go play hockey and actually like do stuff.
I'm wrapping this smoke up, and what a great burn and a great draw and a great flavor all the way down to this little guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lovely cigar.
I appreciate that.
We're both nubbing the 5th edition right now, which again is available on the Copper Canyon website. Also available in a couple of our stores right now. Buy as singles. And again, all of our boxes are 20% off. You buy a full box, so even 10-count box is 20% off. So that normally kind of expensive box, you're still getting in the $160 range.
Yeah,
for a box of those, which is a great price.
That is,
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
They're on the Copper Canyon website right now. We'll sign off here in a second. John, what's coming up this year, next year
Ooh.
for Warfighter? What are you guys looking forward to doing?
So this year has been a very interesting year for us for Warfighter. The beginning of the year, we had some inventory issues. End of last year, beginning of this year, but then we got all that taken care of. So now we're in the process of stocking, right? And the stocking is we're putting as many cigars in our humidor as we can, and every month, as long as I bring in more cigars than I ship out, that we're doing the plan's working. You know what I mean? And so far so good. I got the shipment that just left Miami today, and it's I got 2 pallets of cigars showing up, 1,600 pounds of cigars. Which if you pick one cigar up, they're not that heavy, so that's a good amount of cigars. So, but we get monthly shipments from the factory. We have constant production of everything that we have in the works right now. We just released our San Andreas and our 10th anniversary and the 5th edition victory at PCA this year. That's a lot for one company to release.
It is.
But we didn't have any new releases the year prior, and it's been, well, as of PCA this year, it's 3 years since we had a new release. And so all the inventory problems that we were having is one of the reasons why we couldn't get those new blends out. Now that we have them out, that's awesome. We actually just sat down this morning for a meeting to start working on artwork for our release of PCA 2027 in Vegas. I can't say much about the cigar yet, but it is very drastically different than anything else we've ever done before. It's still all long filler, premium hand rolled tobacco, the whole nine. It's just very, very, very unique. And so as we get closer to PCA, we'll put out some more information about that. But that one, we're gonna have a lot of fun with that cigar. It's actually it's 2 cigars. It's kind of a new line ish, but one of them's a little milder, one of them's more medium plus. But we're trying to tap into a market that we're not really accessing right now. But so it's going to be really fun. We've been playing around with that stick for about 8 or 9 months now, maybe even a little longer. And now we're just trying to figure out what exact sizes we want to do, and then what we want the band and box, and all that kind of fun stuff. There's 2 parts to making a cigar, right? You create the blend, which, depending on who you talk to, sometimes that is the hardest part. And then the other side is the marketing and packaging and all of that, right? So you got to figure out, what do you want the band to look like? How do you want it to present in a box? How do you want that box to present on a shelf? How do we convey the information of what's in that cigar to the customer without having, a newspaper hanging off the front of it as a shelf talker? Is it something somebody else already did? Is it similar to one of our other brands or one of our other blends? There's a lot, but for us, we break it down into 2 different things. We blend, and then we do our branding and marketing. The blending side of it, right? That is a constant work in progress. We probably have, at any given moment, we probably have 8 to 10 different blends that we're working on. Some of them might never see the light of day. Some of them are going to be like, oh, okay, this is it. Okay, now we got to save this for a fun project because this cigar is too good just to release for something, right? So all that's done. We got the marketing stuff. We're hoping to get all this done and actually have cigars in our possession before PCA happens, which, for 10 years, we've been trying to do that and haven't done it yet. This past year, we got damn close. I had samples, I had display boxes, but the box factory is behind. So I think PCA when was it? April or May? No, it was in May. Was it May or April? Yeah, it was April.
It was April in New Orleans, yeah.
So it was April. So May, June is when we were actually shipping, where there's a lot of companies that, like, right about now, they're getting emails being like, hey, our PCA release is shipping next month. And it's like,
there's still PCA releases I haven't got.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And it happens.
And so a couple of things that we focused on since the beginning when we started the company. One of them is we announce, we claim to everybody, we're a veteran-owned, 100% combat veteran-owned company. That's awesome, right? It might open the door for us somewhere. It might encourage somebody to try just because of that. But at the end of the day, if we have a shitty product, our own people are going to they're just going to destroy us. The veteran community is amazing, and it's toxic in the same sense.
And it's very honest. That's the easy way to say. Not toxic, very
brutally
honest. Brutally honest.
So if we put out a bad product, our own people are going to be like, dude, this sucks. Like, I can't believe you're trying to stand behind this as a veteran-owned company, and this piece of shit is what you're trying to get me to, buy. So best quality tobacco, best quality and construction that we can do. Those are our main focuses above all else. We can mess up everything else in the company, but if we have a bad product, we're dead in the water before we even started.
Right.
And the quality is number one. Quality control. We have multiple different quality control steps at the factory, and then we have quality control steps that we take here in the States. Obviously we're not opening the box of cigars and going through everything like that, but if that box has a nick on it, it doesn't get shipped out, it gets set aside. We can't put something out there that isn't up to par, just for the sake of getting it out the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And so that's one of our biggest focuses is making sure the quality is there in everything that we do. And then the authenticity behind everything that we do, right? We could have called this company whatever we wanted to call it, Scott Jansen Cigars, John Simon Cigars, whatever it was. Like, but at the end of the day, who the fuck are those guys? So we wanted to build something that was bigger than us, that incorporated a community that came together behind it. And so when we named it Warfighter Tobacco, it wasn't because we wanted it to succeed because of us. We wanted it to succeed because there's a group of people, warfighters, that are much larger, much bigger than anything we could ever comprehend. And it's not just those military guys or prior military guys. It's those law enforcement guys. It's the first responders, the medics, all the guys that are out there putting themselves aside and doing things for other people, right? In our opinion, that is the definition of a warfighter. You don't have to be in the United States Army or the United States Marines or Navy or Air Force or Coast Guard or whatever branch. You just have to be that person that's going to put somebody else in the care for that person above yourself. Those are the kind of the pillars that we believe when we started the company, and it's treated us well so far, as long as we abide by them. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I do want to point out, you did leave out the Space Force.
It's really funny too, because I got some friends that are in the Space Force, and I love it. I love it so much because when they're going through some of their training, like an officer that's going through training to join the Space Force, they are literally called a space cadet.
That's so good. They're a step away from Buzz Lightyear at this point. Like,
it's
they're
amazing.
Right there.
It's so we have in our warehouse, we have the American flag, we have the Texas flag, and we have all the branches lined up. And the Space Force flag is actually in front of the Coast Guard flag in order of precedence, even though the Coast Guard is way older than the Space Force. It's pretty interesting.
Quite a bit older.
Quite a bit, but they're technically Department of Transportation. I mean, and now it's a little different now, but that's why they fall where they fall in the standings of the flags.
I just want to attend the space ball.
I know, right? There's so many, like, I wish this, like, I instead of getting out, I would have tried to like transfer to the Space Force instead of getting out of the military, out of the Army. It would be so fun. I'd have a smile on my face every day. Be like, what do you want me to do? Oh, you guys are bored. You got to start cleaning. Cool, give me a mop. I'll go clean the moon. Like, I have so many jokes if I would have been in the Air Force.
It's funny. My sister, she works for a space division that works for the U.S. government. So she was in the first Trump-Pence administration.
Okay.
And then she worked for Space Council after that. Now she works for a third-party company that works with NASA and the U.S. government and space. And she worked for SpaceX, and then SpaceX didn't work out. And then, anyways, her new company now, she sent me the website for it. And everything reads on this website, it's the most generic thing in the world. It's like partnering with countries across divisions for them to do the best, blah, 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 blah. And like everything just reads, and then the end it goes, in space. In space.
So she works for the CIA.
Right, yeah. It's like making the best financial decisions across governments in space. Everything's in space.
In space.
And I remember looking at the website, reading, I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, none of it means anything. It's like in space. Like that was the end of every sentence in space. But she did a great job. And I know she's doing something. Katie, I love you, and keep doing what you're doing in space. It's just, that's her job. So she works with the U.S. government and other governments across the world in space.
We used to joke around when
job.
we were in the military, because like I was a machine gunner for a while. I was a machine gun team leader. And like, you know, we'd be out in a bar, we'd be drunk one night and a weekend having fun. And people are like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a spaceship door gunner. That's like a real thing now.
Oh, it is?
Well,
Dude,
I mean,
imagine
it could
like
be.
if you're like on the first line defense for space defense, and you're like, I might never have to really work a day in my life or see combat. If I do, that'll be terrifying, and we'll all know right away. But that's on my card. That's a thing I might have to do. I might have to fight aliens, and good luck to you. But we have people that we hire to do that now. Like that's a gig, and you can't talk shit because it could. I don't know. It's such a weird thing.
Like what kind of assault force does the Space Force have? Like, do they have a QRF, quick reaction force? You know, like
I think it's a bunch of people in pods, and they're just operating the drone in space.
Like, do they have a fob on the moon? You know, there's like 100 dudes up there.
See, I would think what we do is we probably outsource like half their jobs to like DirecTV, and there's like monitoring satellites / working for the Space Force. Like they're just like doing internet work / like we've outsourced half of it at this point.
I'd like to smoke a cigar on the moon in that fob.
That would be awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
So
Alan Martin, what's Alan Martin saying? He's related to chat. He'll give us an update on Mr. Alan Martin.
Let's see. Alan came on and said, I'm really late to this chat. I wanted to ask something if you get to it. You brought up people being brutally honest, and I'll say I tried your Corojo. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And it didn't do it for me. What would you recommend to try from your brand that Copper Canyon has? I'm a medium to full-bodied palate.
Okay. And so what you guys have on the table is what you guys are carrying right now, right?
Yeah, we have the Garrison Crow, the Connecticut, the Maduro, the 5th, and the Sumatra currently.
Okay.
Yes.
I would try the 50 cal Field Maduro. That's going to be more of a medium body Maduro. Or I try that Victory. That's kind of medium plus ish.
I mean, the Victory was
that's a great smoke.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah. So the Corojo, right? Traditionally the Corojo leaf comes with a little bit of pepper and spice to it. And I feel like you either love it or you hate it, right? You're either a pepper and spice guy or you're kind of not. And so that might be why the Corojo, didn't agree with your palate. But then try that 50 Field Maduro or try that Victory, and I think you might get a different experience out of both of those.
And I know you guys sent me a sample of it. I've had, again, hard thing about cigar smokers. We bring a new brand in. We try bringing 5 that we think is going to do well. And already I got guys going, why don't you bring in the Night Shift? Why don't you bring the Dumpster Fire? Why don't you bring in the Oscuro Garrison? Which my first cigar today, this morning with a cup of coffee, was the Garrison Oscuro Maduro.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a pretty full body morning smoke, but I've been doing this for a while. It was really, really nice. The guys are like, why didn't you bring that in? I'm like, hey, like we brought these 5 in, but Night Shift, Oscuro Maduro.
Yeah.
Honestly, Dumpster Fire is a different price point. That's the thing we'll bring in eventually. It's funny that it's a box that looks like a dumpster. And anyways,
that one's our version of a Cuban sandwich. So it's the trimmings of the rest of our core line. So it's a mixed filler cigar. So no two are going to be alike. But we believe in truth in marketing. That's why we called it the Dumpster Fire.
so tell us about the Night Shift, because I've had multiple people being like, bring the Night Shift, bring the Night Shift, bring the Night Shift. And at this point, we'll probably have it for the event.
Okay. So the Night Shift, we kicked that out. That was 3 PCAs ago. We released that cigar. And that was kind of the beginning of I like to call it phase 2 of our blending experience in the industry over the past 10 years, right? So, our core line, the Field line and the Garrison cigars, when we blended those were some of the first cigars that we blended. Thankfully, we were afforded the time and knowledge from some of the master blenders at Placencia and Master Rollers when we sat down and did those blends. there's a learning curve when it comes to blending, right? But I can't tell you how many times where I'm like, hey, here's the ingredients, make me the cigar. And they're like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean, no? I'm paying you to make cigars. Just make this cigar. They're like, no. I'm like, okay, why? And they're like, oh, those tobaccos don't burn together, or the flavors aren't going to mix how you think they're going to, or, whatever. And I'm like, okay, make me 10 so I know. And they roll them and I smoke them. I'm like, oh, shit. Yep, you're 100% correct. My bad. We're going to transition, So those, our core line, our 5.56, 7.62 field, and 50 cal field, the 3 tan boxes on the table. And then our Garrison line, the Corojo, the Rosado, the Oscuro Maduro. Those were our original 6 blends that we came up with as a company. They are phenomenal cigars. They're drastically different across the whole line. And then we did our night shift. Obviously, that you guys just smoked, or excuse me, not night shift, Victory. You guys just smoked that. That cigar is phenomenal. And then we did a couple of LEs. We did 5,000 cigars here, 2,000 cigars there. 105 packs for this shop, or whatever it was. And that kind of allowed us to really open our palates up and play around with some different tobaccos. So then we get to the night shift, and a couple of different things happened with that cigar, and we blended it. We had a lot of guys who were like, hey, you guys need to release a Candela. Okay,
stop.
Cool. I get it. I understand there's Candelas on the market. Personally,
very few, and
I don't like Candela at all.
There is one Candela I actually really like, but there's one in the whole industry. But yeah,
I like. There's 1.5 that I like.
What's the one you like?
So there's a Candela that Apostate does that I think is pretty decent.
The Apostate one is pretty decent. Have you had the Fomorian from Romacraft?
I did, and that one's really good. And that was my other one. And the reason I said 1.5 is the Romacraft one is the one I like. The Apostate one, I've known those boys for, I don't even know, more than 10 years now. So I don't know if that plays a role in it or not. You know what I mean?
But
I still think it's a good stick. But no, that Romacraft one, that one's really good.
That Fomorian's fire. Like, that's the only Candela I'll smoke. And it's hard because I think it tricks people. They smoke that and they're like, I like Candela. And you're like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
You like that cigar.
You like that cigar. There's a lot of really bad Candelas. Like,
really
it's
bad.
not a wrapper you should use. You could barber pull with it a bit and play with it, but like a Candela cigar by itself, like, it really should not be used as a wrapper. It's just too young. It's too like, it's not a good wrapper. It's not.
No. So we got away with checking that box for our customers. Hey, look, we have Candela in a cigar. We put a little ring around the cap of it. 2 things. 1, check the box for us using Candela. 2, we wanted to pay tribute to the green glow at night vision. And that little ring is kind of like that glow that you see around a guy's eye when he's got a set of nods on. But going back to how much I like the Ecuadorian tobacco, we use Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro as a wrapper. And then we do a bunch of good fillers on the inside, trying to get a very unique flavor profile out of that cigar. And then what we realized is that Candela kind of adds a little bit of a mouthfeel that enhances some of those flavors that come out of the cigar. You're getting that under fermented tobacco flavor on your lips. So when you lick your lips and you take a puff off that cigar, it kind of helps, bring out some interesting flavors out of it. We did a nice band on it. We made it a little bit, when we blend for flavor. Wherever that strength lands, that's kind of where it's at. We're not blending like, oh, I need the strongest cigar in the market. And we blend it and you're like, yeah, but if we pull some Ligero out, there's so much more flavor in the cigar,
Yeah.
And so, being a little bit different with that Candela, on the cap of the cigar, and then just those very unique flavors that come out of it. That cigar, for 3 years since we released it, is our #1 selling cigar. I can't make it fast enough. And then the cool part too is, we were talking about rolling, torpedoes or Solomons, and you only have a certain amount of guys that do it. That's the same thing with our night shift cigar, right? Putting that Candela ring on the cap and making it equal and even across, if you lay out 20 cigars, that thing better be in the same width and the same line on that cigar. Just like when you lay out 20 cigars in the bands, are all in the same spot, right? So we have 8 guys at the factory that were trained solely to roll that cigar. And those guys, they're so proud of it. Like we brought them night shift hats and t-shirts, all that stuff. So I go down to the factory first day, like they don't know I'm showing up. I get there, okay, cool, whatever. Then next day, they're all wearing night shift stuff, and they're so chest out, shoulders back as they're rolling these cigars, and I'm like, hell yeah! I'm like, I love that. These guys care, you know. And but yeah, so all of that going into that cigar, it's just phenomenal flavor. They burn really nice, and yeah, like I said, #1 selling cigar for us right now.
Wow. Okay.
So, and shortly behind that, we're gonna have.
Apparently, we need some night shift.
Yep.
I have a sample on the table over there. It's one of the few samples I haven't smoked yet. So
you should.
I've had multiple people being like night shift. Yep.
That one, and then our San Andreas, right? We already talked. You guys, we talked earlier about the 10th anniversary. Phenomenal cigar as well. That San Andreas blend, we had that out about 4 years ago. It was linked with a nonprofit. $1 per cigar was going back to fund the nonprofit supporting veterans. That nonprofit imploded like overnight. Like within 6 days, it went from full speed ahead with the mission to gone. It just disappeared. And so we got stuck with like $50,000 of branded merchandise, cigars. I had 600 boxes of cigars at the factory getting ready to get shipped out. And like, I can't sell that now because it's not tied to a nonprofit anymore. The nonprofit no longer exists. So we changed a little bit of the processing that we use on the wrapper leaf to try to just bring out some more flavors out of that cigar that we wanted, that the original blend was supposed to be. And then, you know, about 3.5 years later, we re-released it this year, just as the Warfighter Tobacco San Andreas. It is not tied to a charity or anything like that, but we've had so much request for that blend to come back. And then those slight changes we did in the process of processing that wrapper leaf just made it that much better. And so that one is slowly creeping up onto, I mean, it's new, so it's kind of hard to judge right now. But that's creeping up on the night shift real close right now. But yeah, so I definitely recommend. I think we sent up samples for you guys. I know you got the night shift. I'm pretty sure we sent some San Andreas as well.
Yeah, I got like one of everything. There's a few left, so I hand some out. Like this guy got.
If you guys need some more, let me know. I'll drop another care package out for you so you can try some of the
I'm
stuff
not
you don't
opposed
carry.
to it.
Right.
No, again, everything we've all smoked, it's been great. The cigars tonight have been great. Isolip, the Maduro, that'll be my nightcap tonight. John, good. Thank you so much for doing all this. I feel like we need a follow-up episode closer to PCA and all the new stuff.
Let's do
it. Then at the trade show, we'll be there. We try to do an interview at all of our booths, like for a little, couple of minutes to talk about the new stuff. So we'll definitely see you at the trade show.
Yes, please.
Next year, and then hopefully you and I can have a drink together and hang out. Like that's the goal. And then
that's
get into some trouble in Vegas, I guess. Like that's what we do.
That's where all the actual business gets done, is drinking at the bars after the show.
It's a job trip.
Yeah,
like we're working when we're in Vegas.
On the show floor, that's just
there.
where you place orders. The business is done at the bars in the evenings.
100%. Are you you gamble? You gambler?
I try not to, but once I get a couple whiskeys in me, then let's hit the fucking craps table all night.
Oh, you're a craps guy.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
But I'm a sucker, right? I'll get on a craps table and I'll sit there till 4 a.m. And so I try not to do it because I can't just walk away. I don't lose. Like, it's not like I'm like just, ripping money out of what I usually pay my mortgage with and gambling with it. Like, I'll play with $100, but I'll play on that table for like 4 hours,
That's fun. That's entertainment. That's honestly, that's really good value in Vegas. If you say $100, that's great value.
Yeah, $100
we could all be
is
like
2 drinks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What? So, and you had the Weller tonight. You normally it's a bourbon, Scotch guy, easy.
So bourbon whiskey. There's only a handful of scotches. I'm not a big fan of peat, and so it's really hard for me to find a scotch I like. And I've tried. Like, I gave it an honest effort. Like, I like gin, and I know how long it takes for your palate to develop to be able to actually enjoy like a really nice gin. And so I tried really hard with scotch, really hard. I found a handful that I like, but they're all, Highland, they don't have much peat at all. Your
Glenmorangies or Macallans, like things like that. What's your gin of choice?
My gin?
Gin, yeah.
So because of my father, I'm a huge fan of Bombay Sapphire because that's kind of like a staple in the summertime growing up. I really like Hendrix.
Hendrix is the staple. Hendrix is the best gin made. It just is.
And then Monkey Fist, I think is what it's
called.
I've
not had Monkey Fist. I'm a Bombay Hendrix guy. I haven't had Monkey Fist.
So the bottle almost looks like a Hendrix bottle, similar shape, and it's really, really good. And they make like, there's all the ones that have the botanical ones and the elderflower and all this stuff now.
Castle does a good botanical gin, actually.
Who?
You guys that partner Highclere Castle.
Oh yeah,
So the guys that partnered with Foundation years ago, the whole Castle thing in England, they did the cigar Highclere Castle with Foundation. They actually have a good botanical gin. They did.
Yeah.
It's solid. I'll give you one tip before we sign off.
Okay.
As a gin guy, and you like gin and tonics, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you do tonic ice cubes?
Oh.
So what you do at your home is you have a tray and you do tonic with a squirt of lime on a tray. Then we do your gin and tonics. You use tonic ice cubes for your cocktail. So it doesn't water down your cocktail. Now you have tonic ice cubes for your gin and tonics or your vodka tonics, wherever you want to have. Tonic ice cubes will change your life.
So there's two things in the past 10 days that have changed my life. This is one of them.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. The other thing that changed my life, when I was up in Alaska, they did a steak dinner night when we did our cigar event. And so they got these they've got prime ribs, cut them up in a big, thick ribeyes. And they took a shitload of beef tallow, probably this deep in a pot. And they brought it to a low boil and they parboiled the ribeyes in beef tallow, then cooked them on the grill, and then finished them with a big fat pat of butter and a blowtorch. And I was like, I've been cooking steaks wrong my whole life. My whole life. You guys just changed. I'm 44 years old. You just changed my world. Like just freezing tonic and ice cubes. Well,
dude, I was in a bar 20-ish years ago in Brooklyn, New York, and I ordered a Hendrickson tonic at some bar in Brooklyn. The bartender goes, "Do you want a regular ice cube or a tonic ice cube?" What? He goes, "We have tonic ice cubes." I was like, "That sounds great," and I had that. And so every bartender I've ran into for 20 years, anybody else that likes to do tonic, I was like, "Dude, tonic ice cubes, yeah, change your life." And people are like, "Oh, that's amazing." So
either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm freezing tonic, and then this weekend I'm having a gin and tonic with tonic ice cubes. Like I have
to change your life. So everybody else out there on the channel that catches this tonight, tomorrow, a week from now, whatever, tonic ice cubes, do it. You're dumb not to do it. Rungi, anything else you have tonight that you want to say to John on the channel?
John, thanks for putting out a great spread of cigars, man.
I appreciate it. I'm glad. That's the best compliment that you can get as a brand owner. Because at the end of the day, it's really hard to get honest feedback from people. And we tell people, whether you like it, you hate it, let us know. If you hate it, please let us know, because we can't fix anything if we don't know what's wrong with it. So I appreciate that. And, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. As long as you guys keep smoking cigars, we're going to keep making great ones. So if you guys quit
there's so many cigars out there, so many brands,
so many.
There's such a chance that I'm going to walk right by that and not pay attention because I'm going to go to something I know. So getting that little contribution today is, like you said, it's a life changer, man.
Well, it's knowledge and it's relationships, because we joke about it in the industry quite a bit that like pretty much everybody is making like good cigars right now. Like we're in a blessed time. Like a lot of great companies are making great cigars. Like if you go into one of our humidors and somebody's like, "What's good?" I'm like, "Well, if it wasn't good, we wouldn't carry it." Like everything's good. What do you want? Like, what are we looking for? What is it? And I think relationships and people finding something like is where it really lands, because if you're going to spend $12 to $13, $14, $15, whatever it is, and you want some medium body, full body, mild, whatever, buy something that means something to you.
Brother, you've never handed me a bad cigar.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. I do hand you a lot of really good cigars.
On occasion.
On occasion. Well, John from Warfighter, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. Again, Copper Canyon, we have the cigars in the stores right now. So go buy singles. The boxes are on the website. Again, 20% off boxes. We're doing a soft launch of Warfighter at the St. Joe store on September 10th. So come out. It'll be free food, drink specials. We're going to get raffles and stuff. We got some travel cases and some lighters giveaway. By the way, your guys' like fuel can lighters are so fucking cool.
They're pretty dope.
Those are dope. I'll show you one. So it looks like I wasn't in the military. Can. It looks like a military fuel can.
A jerry can.
What's it called?
A jerry can.
Jerry can? That's what it's called, John?
Yeah, in the military, they're called jerry cans.
Okay.
We just called them.
So it looks like a little jerry can, apparently. But it's a lighter.
Okay.
And I also saw you guys just launched Soft Flame.
Oh, we did. And in my opinion, it's this, that's what I was using today to light my lighter.
Okay.
Colibri makes this lighter. It's called the Colibri Continental. And it's just a single flame, soft flame, got a barrel mechanism, you know, of regular Zippo flint to light it. And it's butane. If soft flames worked better outside, I would only use a soft flame. But if there's any amount of wind, they don't really work. It's like trying to light a cigar with a Bic. It sucks when you're outside. But these soft flames, especially like on a relight, right? I do a lot of talking, a lot of business as I'm trying to smoke. My cigar goes out 4 or 5 times sometimes, right? A relight with a soft flame, in my opinion, is 1,000 times better than a relight with a butane jet. But yeah. And so, I mean, you guys probably carry Colibri stuff too. I'd look into these Continentals. They're awesome.
Yeah. We have Colibri. We have a few other accessory companies we use. The last thing I'm going to ask before we have to sign off is I've been told you guys have like a crazy cool ashtray that's like a limited edition thing that's like part of a tank or something.
We do. Ah, shit. I don't have one here.
Tell me about it, because the guy explained it earlier, and he was a military guy, and he told me about it, and it's above my head.
I can honestly say that I believe we are the only cigar company in the world that has these ashtrays. And these ashtrays will last you literally the rest of your life unless you lose it or it gets stolen. Our launch video with this is we had a ceramic ashtray on the ground, and I took our 120 millimeter Abrams ashtray. It was about waist high, and I dropped it, and it completely shattered that ceramic ashtray. So in the military, if you're a tanker and you're in an Abrams tank, the rounds, when you shoot the ammunition, whatever it is, whether it's a training round or a high explosive, whatever, the majority of that round isn't the casing. It's not like in the old school days where you have this huge, like 3-foot long brass casing that gets ejected. You get what's called an aft cap, and it's 120 millimeters in diameter, but it's only about this tall, in a circle, about that tall. And in the center of it, you got about a 12 to 15 inch firing rod. And then everything built around that is either like a sabot or part of the powder or the charge or whatever to get the projectile down that barrel. So when that round gets shot and it gets ejected, that little piece, which is, we turned it into an ashtray, falls into a trap door in the floor of the tank, and they're accounted for. They have to turn them in at the end. And, it's the military. They do a bunch of stupid shit. So the military, in their wise mind, say, okay, cool. We gave you 100 of these. You gave us 100 back. Awesome. You guys go about your day. And then they take these 100 and they go, well, we have no use for these. So we're just going to dump them on the civilian side after they've been demilled and cleaned in the whole nine. And so we have a company that we acquire them from the U.S. military. We make sure they're clean. We're going to make sure they're not like a depleted uranium round or anything crazy like that. The majority of the ones we use are training rounds, and that's just for safety, right? We don't want any residue of explosive or uranium or anything like that on a product that we're kicking out the door. And so we'll chop off that firing rod. We'll cut out 4 cigar rests on it, and we recoat the inside and clear coat the bottom, right? The bottom of it has all the markings. It says 120 millimeters, made in the USA. It has the nomenclature, what kind of round it was. And then each one's slightly different, because sometimes the guys, as they're sitting in the tank, they're doing their round counts to see what they have. They might put initials or a mark or a number or something on it. We don't get rid of that. We just clear coat over it. So that whatever's on it is how it ships. And so at the end of the day, it's about just shy of 8 pounds. And it's been once fired out of an Abrams tank, and we turned it into an ashtray. And these things are awesome. The only downfall to it is we have one military in the world that uses these rounds. Thank God it's us, right? So they're expensive. If I've heard
they're a little pricey. Retail these is
$179, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if I could buy these from China, we probably wouldn't be speaking English right now. You know what I mean?
Sure. But no, do you guys have any of these available?
They're available on the website right now. We do also have them available wholesale, so you guys can buy them. Now, this product, we don't make any money on this. You guys, as a retailer, you make more money on it than we do when you buy them wholesale. We started these 10 years ago when we started the company because we thought they were the coolest thing in the world. And even then, it was like, look, it's a novelty item. It sits on a table. It starts a conversation. It's brand awareness. It's all of this, right? That was our justification behind it. Now
Yeah,
it's like,
I need
shit, we're-
at least
You
half,
need-
I need
you need
half a
that.
dozen of these. Yeah, I got
Right?
guys I know right now they're gonna buy these. Like I need
Yeah.
these, Ash. So what
And-
we're gonna do is
I think
probably
in 10
tomorrow
years,
when I
we've
wake
probably
up.
gone through, I don't know, 10,000 of these ashtrays. It's insane the amount that we've gone through.
I mean, we
and,
need one, right?
We do.
We need one.
But yeah,
They're on the
just-
table.
Oh,
Shoot me
yeah,
an
we'll
email,
put it
let me
front
know.
and center.
We'll get it. We'll get, if you guys need, restock or some new blends or whatever.
We'll
But
need some restock. We'll probably need some night shift and some tents for the event anyway. So we'll
Cool.
probably order half a
And
dozen of the tank ashtrays as well to have them because again,
So
the
what I
guy
can
today
do-
was like, "You guys are doing the event. I need the tank ashtray." And I was like,
Sweet.
"Okay, I'm doing a podcast tonight. I'll ask him about the tank ashtray. Like
Yeah.
we'll do that." So
now they're heavy, right? So the two complaints we got about these ashtrays is one, if you're putting it on a glass tabletop, when you set it down, right? Don't set one side and then let the other side fall. It will literally shatter your glass. I don't care if it's tempered, doesn't matter. These ashtrays are unforgiving. And then the second complaint, don't drop it on your foot. It is not our fault that you broke your toe because you dropped our ashtray on it.
that's like a McDonald's coffee thing.
It
Like,
is,
oh, it's hot.
100%.
Oh.
I was like, I'm not putting warning labels on this. You should just know better. But yeah, and then I can drop in some samples of some of the other stuff for you guys too, so you can smoke some of the other stuff that you don't carry and make sure that yep, I need to bring this in as well.
No, John, I appreciate it. We'll definitely be
Yeah.
getting a little bit of everything. So again, for John Runge in the studio, John and Simons from Warfighter, thank you so much for being here tonight. We'll definitely talk again soon.
Yeah,
I'll message
absolutely.
you. And again, like what a wealth of knowledge for the brand. I hope everybody that watched tonight is going to watch future in the days ahead. Like
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. So
And if
we'll talk
if
soon.
if you guys have more customers that have more questions, I'm more than happy to jump back on another one of these and just go down a laundry list and knock out whatever info anybody needs.
No, we'll do it again soon. We do these
Yeah.
again. We're trying to get back into it, doing it once or twice a month, doing the live things like this. It's a lot of
Nice.
fun. So
Ooh,
I appreciate it. Anytime I can jump on one of these, I'm game. So you just let me
no,
know.
you're awesome, man. So again, for John Runge in the studio, John Simons from Warfighter Tobacco. Thanks for being part again Saturday this week. Big Fuente event at the St. Joe store. So be there for Summer Love. I'll be there. Free food, Fuente cigars. It'll be a thing. We'll hang out. I'll probably trim the mustache a little bit to look more like Carlito. It is what it is. So John, we'll talk soon.
Awesome.
Buy the cigars. They're in the stores. Again, for John, and Joe, thanks for being part of the Cigar Chat Live tonight. Stay smoky out there.
Thanks, guys.
cheers.